This is Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 FM and iTalk1067.com. Also brought to you in part by Northland Pioneer College, Ace Hardware of the White Mountains, Beamer's Glass, Mountain Mobile Auto Glass and Tint, Summit Regional Medical Center, Horn Auto Center, Honda Ski and Outdoor Sport, and Comfort Fit Dentures. And now, Sholo Ford presents high school football on iTalk 106.7 and worldwide on iTalk1067.com.
I can't hear you.
I can hear Mike. I can't hear Derek either.
Yeah, I can hear. Yeah, it was just Derek. Do we need to hit the spotter button maybe?
You're on now. Well, right side, I guess.
Want the best deal on your new car, truck, van, or SUV? Go to Sholo Ford. Sholo Ford has the best deals. Not only does Sholo Ford sell the #1 truck in America, Guy Hatch guarantees you won't find a better deal on that truck anywhere else. Sholo Ford sells the best at the best price. Sholo Ford on the east end of the Deuce and at sholoford.com.
You've been there, waiting forever at the gas station for the guy to free up so he can fill up your propane tank. Or worse, when the only qualified propane technician decided to stay home that day. Yep, you've been there and I have too. That's why now I get my propane from Ace Hardware every time. You get Ace Hardware's world-famous customer service when you stop in for propane. That's right, you get in, you get out, and you get a great deal on propane and everything else. From Ace Hardware at their locations in Pine Top and Heber. Ace Hardware is proud to support White Mountain Sports.
You have a vision, a brand to build, a message to share? You need signs that turn heads, apparel that makes a statement, banners that grab attention, and business cards to leave a lasting impression. Your success starts with the right tools. That's where we come in. Allegra Sholo brings your ideas to life with custom designs and top quality products, helping you stand out and grow your brand. Let's make something amazing together. Call Allegra Sholo today.
And our captains tonight, the Snowflake is number 4, Hayden Nichols, Jalen Jones, Wyatt Johnson, and Kaiser Flake.
So who won that? No. Wait. Now am I in program?
You just snapped off and on.
So you can hear me in your left ear?
Yes.
Okay. Check.
You're there.
Okay, we're sorry for the technical difficulties. We are here at Snowflake High School, the Lobos home opener, going to take on a ALA West Foothills team that a year ago was playing for the 3A state championship. Came up short in that one, but opted to move on up to the 4A conference. And look every bit of it as I'm joined by coaches Mike Brogan and Kay Solomon. Coach Solomon, you were down there on the field with these guys. Are they as big as they look is the first question.
You know, first thing I noticed on their roster with Max Preps this week, and I was looking at the size, and then you start to question, okay, or did they exaggerate a little bit? No, I don't think that's exaggerated. The size difference, the Lobos are giving up some significant size tonight, all across the board, not just linemen, but skill players too, for the most part.
How unusual is it? Check.
Yeah, you're there.
Okay. How unusual is it for a Snowflake team to be giving up that kind of size? Usually it seems like the Lobos are the bigger of their foes.
Well, like we saw last week, we're definitely starting a little bit smaller as we replace a big lineman group that we graduated last year. We've got a smaller group, but they're tough. They grew a lot last week, so we'll hope for some good things from them as things
Bad
go.
decision there on a kick that looked like it was going out of bounds. Instead, it's going to be fielded and then mishandled by Cannon Trithel. And looked like it was going to be excellent field position for the Guardians. Instead, is going to be subpar as they're going to start over at the 11.
Yeah, if he'd have let that go, that would have rolled on out of bounds. They could have either elected a re-kick from 5 yards back or taken it at the 35.
So at the 11, this is a run-heavy offense.
I think you're gone again.
Run-heavy offense that has a freshman under center in Carlos Serrano. Turns and gives to the workhorse, but he's immediately swarmed as Rosenthal isn't going to make it back to the line of scrimmage. Stopped at the 10 for a loss of 1.
We remember last week seeing that a little bit of a slow start from the middle of that defense last week against Coconino. It looks like they've worked on some things this week. Unfortunately, we got an ALA player down. Looks like injured right there on that first play.
It looks like it's going to be Kenyon Rosenthal, who last week ran for 192 yards on just 5 carries. So while they're tending to him, we can take care of a few of the things that we need to, starting with the Summit Healthcare Regional Medical Center injury report. Summit Regional Medical Center has everything your athlete needs to get back in the game. He's already up. He was tackled by 4 Lobos. So it's difficult to say if that had something to do with it. But he's going to have to come out and play nonetheless, and we'll try to keep an eye on him. As we already talked about how they're very run-heavy. As they get ready for this play, we'll try to hurry in Ace Hardware keys to the game. Ace Hardware has a 24/7 locksmith. The next time you're locked out of your car or just need a key replaced any hour of the day or night, any night of the week, call Ace Hardware in Pine Top, Overgarden, Shodo. Coach Solomon got a team that wants to run the ball and a team that ran the ball incredibly well yesterday. How close does that, or how big of an impact is that going to make on the key?
Well, huge, that obviously the line that can assert their will a little bit, and there's a great stop by Hayden Nichols right off the bat. We're seeing him make reads a little bit better than what he started out with at the beginning of the game last week.
Loss of 2 that time for Gabe Collette, and his team that needs to run the football is right now moving in the wrong direction after the opening kick was mishandled, fumbled away out of bounds. Starting at the 11, have moved back to their own ALA West Foothills 8 as the Guardians had a huge win against Westview. And
you're good.
Sorry, we're trying to work through some audio issues.
See, they brought another safety out onto the field for this 3rd and long here.
Single back, but before they can get it off, got a delay of game that's going to move them half the distance. And now we can report that Rosenthal is back out there after missing just 1 play. So a ground-heavy team right now facing 3rd and long in the shadows of their own end zone. Not exactly the way that they wanted to make the trip up to the mountain here and go on 3rd and what is officially going to be an S17 with a freshman quarterback against a team that was playing for the chance to get to the 4A finals a year ago with the Lobos, though they are all missing an awful lot. Now Serrano turns, pitches Rosenthal, bounces it outside at the hash, but a nice shoestring catch and stop there, preventing him from getting anything on the carry. That's
Jackson Merrill. Yeah, outside linebacker, played that really well. Rosenthal tried to get him to bite inside and get outside of him, but Jackson was able to get a hold of his leg and get him on the ground. Great job.
Smith and Willis are going to come back and receive this kick. Rosenthal was doing the punting in the warm-ups. He's going to be back with his heels on the end line. Seemed like 1 out of every 3 was a bit of an adventure. 2 out of every 3 while he was warming up were very, very good. as he's going to try to give his defense a little bit of space. Kicks this one, and it's one of those good ones. All the way back to the 45, and then mishandled back into Snowflake territory. Wisely falling on that one is Smith. And you almost think that it was a little bit wet out there with the way that both teams have now mishandled kicks.
Yeah, definitely. I think Christian probably just was in a hurry to get on his horse and get running with that ball and took his eye off it right at the last second there. But smart move by him to jump on that after he made a couple of attempts to pick it up. And it's good that he just got on it and covered it.
Miscue cost the Lobos about 10 yards, but it's still very good field position as they'll start on their own 46. Both teams 1-0. Snowflake winning at Coconino and having to come back to do so as Leduc fakes the handoff, flips this one over the top of the defense. Falls incomplete.
Darn it. He had Mason Rabin, his intended receiver there, and man, Mason was stopped there in a little window, but there was nobody on down the field. I wonder why he didn't keep running there.
Leduc last week, 8 for 11, 136 yards. What's interesting is he carried the ball 21 times and wound up netting -7 yards because of 8 sacks. As this time he does turn and give to Green. He is over the 50 and very close to the yard marker as you got this big ALA West Foothills team right now getting out-bigged, at least on the first carry there from Green, who had a huge day last Friday at Coconino.
Offensive line's picking right up where the defensive line left off with that first series. You know, they're outsized up down there for the most part, but you're seeing guys get off the ball and open a hole there. And Brenner, doesn't take much for Brenner Green to get some positive yards.
So the Guardians lost 7 yards with 2 runs for negative yardage and a penalty. Right now, Snowflake with 8, facing 3rd down and 2. Pressure coming into the neutral zone, and the Guardians really firing rounds into their feet here.
Well, you can see the Lobos have definitely put in some time in the film room this week, too. I got on and watched some of ALA's West game from last week as well, and they're very aggressive up front on defense, and you can see that. They're wanting to try to time that snap and get in the backfield and create some havoc.
8:20 to go, 1st and 10 for the Lobos. No scores. Leduc is again going to air it out on 1st down again, coming down this near sideline where Smith looked like he was being interfered with. All sorts of contact, even perhaps a jersey being held, but no flags.
Yeah, I definitely thought that there was enough probably there to see a flag come out, but the officials let him play on that. Good throw, good route by Christian. They'll keep trying that a few times tonight.
Reminder that you're listening to High School Football presented by Sholo Ford on iTalk 106.7 FM, KNKI Pine Top, Sholo, and 102.5 Pine Top, a Kopanicki Communications station. 2nd down and 10 is again going to go Green. This time he's coming to the near side, met by a tackler at the 40, but runs through it all the way to the 43.
Brendan Anderson knocked Brendan Green.
Dom Bove is there on the stop.
Good run, that off-tackle look that we saw so much last week. That when the Lobos finally got that going, that was a game changer for them over in Coconino.
8 minutes now and 7 seconds with the clock stopped. We're trying to get Mike Brogan on with us as we're having a little bit of audio trouble. In the meantime, ALA West right now facing a 3rd down and 7. Turn and give. Green, no fake it. Now come back to the near side where Jones has to catch over the 35. He gets decked a couple of times as he was fighting for needed yardage, but it comes up a couple yards short. It'll again be Bove.
I like the look of that play. A little slip screen set up to this backside, but they've got a fake going away from it to kind of set that up. And if the timing had been a little bit better on that, got that out to Gian just a second quicker, he had a lot of room to run.
4th down and 3. Leduc, remember, serves as the punter. Doesn't look like he's going to be doing anything like that now as he's in the pistol formation with Green standing behind him. Trips going to the left. Leduc, hard snap. This time nobody's jumping from the Guardians. This time take the shotgun snap, move the pocket to the left, throw this one into the flat where it's had by Smith at the 30 to the 25. Needed 3, got 10, and a 1st down.
Well, we're seeing a lot of confidence by the Lobos. We saw it grow in leaps and bounds in that first game last week as they went through and came away with a tight win at Coconino. But they've built off from that. You can see that they've addressed some of the things that they struggled with early on there. And, you know, right away on the passing game, we're seeing LeDuc's a definite threat as a passer if we could, with this receiving core that he's got.
Clock's under 7 minutes in the first. First possession for Snowflake is now approaching the red zone as LeDuc's going to take this one on a designed run for the quarterback. Tries the left side but gets stood up by a whole bunch of Guardians. That -7 that he wound up carrying does not indicate what kind of impact he made on the ground. I think if you take away the sacks, he was probably around 30 yards.
Yeah, several sacks where he tried to evade and ended up giving up yards and giving up more yards than he would have if he would have taken a sack sooner. But he mentioned that to me. We talked after the game last week, and he said, I got to stop running backwards.
Second and 9, blitz shown here by the Guardians. Hand this one off. No fake the give to Green. LeDuc keeps and winds up losing 2.
Riding that fake, I think they're trying to run a little bit of read option look like we've talked about, and I don't know what he was keying on, but he didn't quite get away clean after the fake and pulling that from the running back.
So now a passing down. Lobos have already gone for it on 4th down once. Got a kicker that has seemingly a somewhat capable leg in McCoy Norton. To be about a 42-yarder right here.
Another one that started out a little shaky last week, but you saw his confidence grow as the night went on.
This time moving the pocket to the right side. LeDuc looking downfield. Has some time. Now it starts to run out. Looks like he wants to run. Pump fake. Now he's got all sorts of acres on the other side. Needs a block to get to the left. He wants to unload as he's going toward the goal line. Got a man caught inside the 5.
What a great play. Lots of patience there. Just holding on, keeping those eyes downfield. He's probably got the speed to run and get that first down and the strength to run through a guy or two, but he knows his receivers are working to get open. What a great job there.
Oh, what a great job there by the Snowflake receivers, as that was looking like it was going to turn into a coverage sack. Instead, you talk about the great job with LeDuc using his feet to extend the play, but Christian Smith never gave up. Just running along the goal line there, and a nice delivery to get it first and goal inside the 5. 5:07 to go. The Lobos trying to strike first. Pistol formation, handoff Green, but he's met and tackled by a few different Guardians.
They really are aggressive in the middle of their defense. You know, you'll see number 25 from his linebacker position coming up to the line of scrimmage and just picking different holes and trying to make penetration through different angles there as he tries to get in, and Lobos will have to really block well up there to open holes in that middle part.
That's Hunter Cotton that you're referencing. As right now they have 3 down linemen. And now coming in again with Cotton. Going to turn and give to Green as he runs away from Cotton, gets to the far sideline, puts his head down inside the 5, and is shy of the pylon, but gained all the yards lost back, and then another couple. Make it 3rd down and goal, looks like from the 3.
Green showing the speed to get outside right there, and I think that's a good way to attack. Like I say, that defense is very aggressive in the middle, but they won't be able to stay that aggressive if they get attacked on those edges, and Brenner or Jacob can get outside and make them pay outside a little bit.
3rd and goal from the 2. Designed run this time for LeDuc as he sprints to the right side. He's in the end zone for the score. A Comfort Fit Dentures touchdown. Snowflake capitalizes on the short field. 55-yard drive is going to put him up 6-0 with 4:16 to go here in the first quarter.
And again, we see that attack off tackle. If they're going to be aggressive right in the middle and cover all those gaps in the middle, then the Lobos are going to work outside until they make an adjustment.
Smith in to hold. Norton going to try to make it an even 7. As the snap is down, the kick is away. And it's good.
That bounced off the left upright, but good. We'll take it.
It counts nonetheless. 7-0. This is Shola Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk1067.com.
For years, he's battled the toughest opponent of his life.
He's down.
But today, with Dr. Arnaud and Comfort Fit Dentures, the fight changes. With Comfort Fit Dentures and Sholo, you can taste the victory. With free exams and x-rays, an in-house lab, and payment plans starting at just $110 a month, Comfort Fit makes it easy to claim victory. Call today for your free exam and x-rays.
Want the best deal on your new car, truck, van, or SUV? Go to Showlow Ford. Showlow Ford has the best deals. Not only does Showlow Ford sell the #1 truck in America, Guy Hatch guarantees you won't find a better deal on that truck anywhere else. Showlow Ford sells the best at the best price. Showlow Ford on the east end of the Deuce and at showlowford.com.
No, now I'm in program? Check. I have no idea.
You're in program. Yeah.
You're in program. Yeah, you're good.
Okay, so can I go into queue? Is this all program?
Yes, I'm in Q2, right?
I don't hear anything.
Mel, can you hear me?
So we're still working on a few things as the kick goes for a touchback. Northland Pioneer College kickoff. When it's time to kick off your college education, do so at Northland Pioneer College, where you pay the lowest tuition in the state. Also pursue bachelor's degrees in education and business, as Rosenthal is going to try the right. 28, gain of 8.
Yeah, that time they ALA did a little better job blocking that thing out, and Rosenthal was able to get to the second level.
Now I'm joined by Mike Brogan. We're rotating.
We're rotating. That's right. Coach Solomon's nice enough. I told him I was happy enough just watching, but
second and 2 as from the shotgun. Fake the handoff. Serrano swings a pass out to the near side. Nice blocking from the receivers, and that's partially because it seems as if there was a hold.
Yeah, it looked like they got that offensive tackle out there to kind of lead on that screen. He did a pretty good job on the initial contact, but then he didn't let him go and held him, and that's going to cost him that first down.
All right. Holding is going to negate the first down and move the Guardians back inside the initial line of scrimmage all the way down to the 18. So 3.5 minutes to go. Snowflake was able to take advantage of a muffed reception on the kickoff. Got a couple of tackles for loss. Used a delay of game to force ALA West into a 3rd and long. Wound up getting a good punt out of the end zone after that was unsuccessful. And the Lobos go 55 yards to take a 7-0 lead. It was going to be interesting to see how this team responds after going on the wrong end of the scoreboard for the first time this season. And they had a good first run, had a good play on 2nd and short. But another miscue of that's the 3rd flag here in the first quarter against ALA West. The Guardians now facing 2nd down and 12. Positions familiar after what they had just endured on their first possession. Turn and give Rosenthal as he is met in the backfield and does a nice job just getting back to the line of scrimmage.
And interesting to see Snowflake a little bit that we're not used to seeing, kind of the jockeying with the linebackers, looking like someone's blitzing here. That time they faked, Hayden Nichols at the middle, and then they brought Merrill off the edge, and he got right into that running lane, and they did a really good job there.
3rd down and 11. Had a 3 and out, now in danger of doing so after the holding penalty. Pulled the chains back behind schedule. Trips going to the right, single man left. Rosenthal standing on Serrano's left, who's in the gun. Now a man going in motion out to the far side. Juggles the snap a little bit, pressured, starts moving to the right side, looking for some room now as he's going to think about unloading. Instead, just take the sack. Run out of bounds, another 3 and out here from the Lobo defense.
Gotta love the start for the Lobos tonight. Just completely different. They came out very tentative, a step or two slow last week. They've definitely gained a lot of confidence and worked on a lot of things this week. Got to give credit to this defensive front with Wyatt Johnson and Isaac Woodside. Seth Lancaster's been playing in there, and the freshman Ziggy Olberg over on the left defensive end.
Rosenthal back out there to punt. Great snap. Winds up. Kicks this one high and deep. Smith all the way back to his 40. Signals fair catch. That's a college grade punt.
Yeah, that thing was up in the air for a day or two. I mean, that's awfully easy to cover right when they hang up for 4 or 5 seconds.
Winds up going, good heavens, was that a 50-yarder?
Yeah, at least 40, 42, probably 43.
Still.
Yep.
And a nice job by Smith. I mean, you don't, especially playing in smaller conference football, see a punt that's going to hang for 5 seconds. He hauled it in. Going to be good field position again for the Lobos. 39-yard line, 2:08 to go. Snowflake leads 7-0. Coming out with Green and LeDuc, who combined to run for 16 yards. LeDuc, as he again is able to get the Guardians into the neutral zone. 4th flag here on ALA West in the first quarter.
Well, as I mentioned on film, you definitely, one of the first things you pick up on is they're very, very aggressive in the middle on defense, and they want to get across the ball and across the line of scrimmage.
First and 5 now, give to Green. Met going into the teeth of that defense, able to get his inertia forward for about maybe 2 yards.
Yeah, and I think as Coach Solomon alluded to at the end of that last possession, the Snowflake had some success running to the outside, so you don't see those linebackers filling those middle gaps on that. A little more read and react type of defensive on that from those linebackers on that last play. Be interesting to see how that plays out the rest of the game.
I think it was Nate Contreras who's into the neutral zone on the previous play and then was able to get there to initiate the stop on Green. Setting up now 2nd down, they're calling it 3. So do give Green 2 yards. Turn, fake the give, throw this one down the seam where it's going to hang up and get intercepted. Well read there and picked off by Isaac Morales.
It looks like, again, just another miscommunication from quarterback and tight end. It looked like they had that seam again, and like LeDuc expected him to stop, and this time he kept going.
Yeah, the field's wide open all the way behind him, but a little underthrown, and gave that defense a chance to react and break on it.
First turnover now with 1 minute and 22 seconds left. Gives it back to the Guardians. ALA West trails 7-0. Excellent field position out at the 39. Man in motion coming right to left. Serrano under center will turn and directly give to Rosenthal, but he is again met right around the line of scrimmage, able to fight his way out for 1. That's now 5 carries for 8 yards for Kenyon Rosenthal. That comes after he needed just 15 for almost 200 a week ago.
Well, when pregame again, we noticed the size of that offensive line, but I'll tell you what, Snowflake right now is winning on both sides of the ball of the line.
They are. The defensive line's doing a lot better of not picking a side.
Again with the 4 receiver set, and again with the man in motion coming from the right to the left. He'll stop in the H-back position. Looks like a miscommunication, and now Rosenthal is not going to get any help. Don't know if Serrano was expecting him to go in the other direction, but they wound up just awkwardly kind of exchanging, and that allowed for the Lobos to get 3 defenders in the backfield for another loss.
Yeah, one of the things I expected them to work on with that defensive line was to play a little bit more head up on their offensive linemen and not choose a side. That was hurting them against Coconino last week, and they're definitely doing a much better job of staying sound that way this week.
Don't know if this play is going to get off. There's 7 seconds. It'll be another 3rd and long situation. Either right now, and it will be. Is Serrano going to swing a pass out to a man who's immediately hammered inside the 40? Another loss.
Mason Rabin there coming up from his corner spot, slipping the block on that little bubble screen. What a great play.
That's the way the first quarter ends, with the Lobos leading 7-0 in another punting situation for ALA West. 3 possessions, no first downs for the Guardians after they almost put 60 up on Westview last week. It's Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 1067 and iTalk1067.com.
When you think glass, think Deemer's Glass in Lakeside. Deemer's Glass offers the best selection of quality glass with affordable prices. They do full home window packages, replacement windows, custom shower doors and enclosures, custom mirrors in many shapes, styles, and colors, glass doors and hardware, commercial glass for buildings and offices, skylights, screens, fire-rated glass for your fireplace or stove, window film, and more. Visit Deemer's Glass today on Porter Mountain Road in Lakeside or call 1-888-GLASSMAN.
Looks like a freshman quarterback.
Coming back here into the second quarter, when it's time to kick off your college education, do so at Northland Pioneer College, where you pay the lowest tuition in the state, and you can pursue 4-year degrees in education and business. Coach Solomon, you talked about how the defensive front was keeping their heads up. Can you explain why it's and how it's making a difference?
What I mean is they're playing in a just heads up against a defensive lineman, and instead of picking a side and trying to slip through a gap, they're staying right on a defensive lineman, not letting him release to a linebacker quite as quickly as they were last week.
Thought about maybe a fake there as he would go with the soccer-style kick, and it comes directly off the side of his foot. And I had mentioned that Rosenthal had some great ones warming up, and he had some of those as well. Now there's a flag near Snowflake's sideline. A week ago, they were flagged for a sideline warning. Ball looked like it's marked out of bounds at the 38. It would be so unfortunate for the Lobos to have committed some sort of 15-yard infraction. And the flag is at the 48. Oh, it's going to go against ALA West.
Crackback?
It's a blindside hit.
Blindside hit, yeah.
Wow, that's going to be right up against the red zone to start this one. Already leading 7-0. Snowflake won the toss and elected to defer. Forced 3 3-and-outs. You had to kick it away after a 3-and-out of their own on their most recent possession. The Lobos have been playing with excellent field position throughout.
You certainly don't see net losses on punts very often, but with that penalty, that's about a 15-yard loss on top of that.
That's also now the 5th ALA West penalty. Pistol formation, Green behind Leduc. Low snap, he has a hard time picking it up, so he's going to have to try to go. He's going to the right side. How does he get any positive yardage out of that?
Well, he's a guy we know he can run, and he's got the speed, he's got the strength, and glad he was able to get that up off his shoelaces and make something positive out of it.
Gains 2 to the 21. That's the 21 of ALA West Foothills. Lobos already up 7-0. Come out with Rabin as an H-back. Give to Green as he tries to go away from him to the right side. Gains a yard to make it 3rd down and 7. Rabin had that huge stop when he was able to track down that screen and came in awfully hot, but it also seemed like he had his head in the proper position to make sure that he avoided any sort of 15-yard flags in his own right.
Yeah, I think that receiver had time to catch the ball and turn and become a runner. I don't think he could be considered defenseless in that position either.
Here's a give to Green trying to go to the right side. Catches a hole as he's going to walk into the end zone from 20 yards out. A comfort fit Dentures touchdown.
Yeah, and again, that's that kind of that stretch handoff that they had such success in Coconino. And again, ALA is bringing those linebackers up in those inside gaps. And so when Brenner got to that outside, he just had to beat the one linebacker, and then he went untouched.
20 yards out, now 13-0. The Lobos in command with a 2-possession advantage and have not yet allowed a first down with 10 minutes and 40 seconds left. Oh, wait a minute. Did they call 3 on sportsmanlike?
I think he's may have it on both.
I think what they got is an unsportsmanlike, and then I think Snowflake's going to take it on the kickoff. If I understood all of that stuff.
Seemed like he signaled 3 times. Is that?
I thought we were coming up with offsetting. It looked like I thought he was saying, but
if they did throw 2 against the Guardians and only 1 against Snowflake, would that then make it?
That's the way the math works. I used to teach math. It works for me.
Oh, unblocked from the far side, but Norton's able to get that one up and in. 14-0, the Lobos lead with 10:40 to go. It's Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk106.7.com.
Want to go fishing? Head to Honda Ski and Outdoor Sport. They have fishing supplies, outdoor fishing attire, and fishing gear. Plus all kinds of bait including live worms, flies, and lures. The staff are experienced anglers, and they can advise you on what you need, where to go, and what type of bait the fish are biting on. Plus, pick up your fishing, camping, and boat permits. When you think fishing, think Honda Ski and Outdoor Sport. located on Highway 260, 1 mile before the casino.
These guys look really good.
Northland Pioneer College kickoff. When it's time to kick off your college education, do so at Northland Pioneer College, where you will pay the lowest tuition in the state. It's your hometown school that offers you bachelor's degree programs in business and education. It doesn't seem like they marked any yards off. So the officials right now are coming away from the Lobo sideline and toward the tee, and now giving the Guardians the bad news. Sixth penalty on ALA West, as they're going to tee this one up in Guardian territory. How greedy can you get here with a 2-touchdown lead and yet to allow a first down?
Boy, the onside kick is right in my – that's right the way I'm looking at this.
Especially the way they're lined up. If you look along this home sideline here, little Snowflake sideline, they're clear inside the hash over here.
Instead, going to blast this one all the way through the uprights, I believe. I don't have good depth perception, so
I think that might have been wide left over there, or wide right, I guess.
That's too bad. 10:40, the Guardians have an 8-yard run that happened on the first down play of their second series. Otherwise, it's an awful lot of TFL.
Well, and you know, having watched Snowflake the last couple of years, it's awfully hard to be one-dimensional and be successful against Snowflake offensively. And Snowflake's done a really good job of eliminating that run game. Their defensive line's penetrating almost every play, and it doesn't look like the passing game from ALA is kind of up to snuff, at least at this point.
Officials are again stopping play. Guardians are walking away from the line of scrimmage, as it's right now the 20 after the touchback. Saying an awful lot about how they got three and outs on their first 3 possessions, 5 tackles for loss. That includes on the only passing play that was completed. So you got no first downs. You're down 2 possessions, and 5 tackles for loss, as this will be moved over to the far hash toward the ALA West sideline. Break the huddle now. We got 2 receivers coming to the near side, and I believe in the slot there is Aiden Anaya, who has that reception. He's off the line on the right. Turn and handoff. No, fake it to Rosenthal. Serrano on the move, throws this one underneath where it's caught, and then out of bounds is Anaya. Nope, that is not Anaya. That is Bove.
That nice ball there. They did a good job getting him to the outside of the pocket there, and didn't, kind of negated the Snowflake pass rush a little bit. He delivered a nice ball on time.
Did not need to air it out much at all last week, as Serrano was 3 for 7, 48 yards, but 2 touchdowns. Is now they invert it, got 2 receivers going to the left from the shotgun. Serrano looking to the near side as he throws it high, having to slam on the brakes and come back to get that one was Isaiah Morales, who had the interception.
Like pretty much no gain on that, right at the line of scrimmage, and had to come back to catch it. So,
well, they're announcing a loss.
And it looks a little different for me. Snowflake defensively, those corners are up a little tighter than normal. I don't know if that's part of their scouting.
Well, that's those 2 up tighter. Yeah. Well, Mason's playing back a little bit on this side, Mason Raven, but.
Anaya takes the shovel pass. He's now running backwards behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to allow the speedy Snowflake defense to get a 7th tackle for loss.
Yeah, and we talked about that last week quite a bit. If you're going to go sideline to sideline, you're just not going to have a whole lot of success against that Snowflake defense. Linebackers are quick. The defensive linemen, they flow pretty well as well. Safeties run well. I mean,
Sorry, that was actually Bove. I beg your pardon, ALA West viewers. You're watching me battle middle-agedness here in the dark. There's under 10 minutes to go in the first half. Smith is the alone. Nope, Willis is back there as well. He's just camouflaged by the Lobo at midfield. Rosenthal takes the snap and will unload. This one angling towards Smith. He's going to allow it bounce. Takes a huge Guardian hop all the way back at the 35 and continues to go to the 30 to the 29. So this will be by far the worst field position that the Lobos have had to deal with. But they got a 14-0 lead. They got a team across from them that has now committed 6 penalties, including 2 in the second quarter, both of those 15-yard varieties. ALA West still looking for its first down. It got an awful lot of gaudy numbers, just none of the ones that you want.
The bright spot is definitely a punter right now. He's averaging, got to be above 40 a punt so far, but just, great start for the Lobos. Got to go back to that last defensive play on third down. Jackson Merrill, you'll see him get rocked pretty good on that play, but he didn't allow a running lane there, and that was a big play to make that stop.
Rabin in motion behind the line, fake to give there, Leduc, and he's going to probably do that because he saw 3 tacklers coming.
It looks like ALA's, that's the second time they've kind of ran that read play, and looks like ALA's focused on staying with the quarterback on that. It looks like all 3 of the defensive linemen went to Leduc.
Do you like the read there, Coach?
Well, like I said, I'm not 100% sure what he's looking at. He's probably looking at a linebacker, and if he's flowing with the running back. But in the meantime, like Mike said, there's 3 defensive linemen that didn't get blocked.
So it's tough to make any read in that situation, is what you're saying.
That's right.
More pressure being shown off the left side. Thought a flag came out, but they're going to let him roll as this one's thrown a little bit too outside the leaping grasp of. Got a new receiver right there.
I think they must have allowed that to be a motion for Brenner. I think it was obviously a jump, but he must not have come forward enough for them to decide to throw the flag on it.
And that looked a little disjointed even after the snap as well. It felt like everybody kind of was expecting something else to happen.
Pass was intended for Edge Bryant. As it stops play with 8:39 to go. Drop back on a passing situation. Have to move up in the pocket. Now he's going to tuck it. Leduc comes to the 30 and then dives to the 35. He was able to get 9 yards, but that's not going to be enough. Actually gets 11, but he lost 5 on the sack, and it seems as if the Guardians are suggesting that there is a flag, or at least one gentleman thinks there should be a flag. Defiantly well behind the line of scrimmage.
I saw a towel fly back there. Somebody pulled a towel out from somebody, but it wasn't a flag.
It's going to be the aforementioned interior lineman in Nate Contreras. Looking at the towel with his heart, is now at 4th down and 4 from deep in their own territory at the 35. Right now, it looking like Leduc wants to run a play, but now switching spots with Green back into what seems to be a little bit more of a punting situation, but now it's definitely a punting situation because there's the game's second delay of game flag. I believe that's the first penalty thrown against Snowflake.
We don't have the time clocks on the field for the play clocks like we did last week, but I could see Mr. Baker, our back judge there, start his 5-second count. You gotta pay attention to that.
I think that is Bove back to receive. Now moving up as if he is expecting another okie doke here. Now Leduc back with about 7 yards between him and line of scrimmage. There's a little bit of pressure. Leduc's able to get it away and sends this one away from Bove. Takes a huge Lobo bounce. Boy, I tell you, ALA West cannot catch a break. As that one looked as if it was potentially going to be blocked. Leduc was able to get it out just in the nick of time and then angles it away from the return man and watches it roll all the way to the 20. 21.
And we saw that last week from Snowflake, and having your quarterback punt, you don't have to give up the full 15 yards. You hold the defense in, and again, they didn't have a return man back to play that because they're worried about the fake. And if you can place that football away from either of the 2 safeties, you're going to get a lot of good rolls, especially on this turf field, I think.
7:22 to go in the half.
Well, this drive is just, it's so important here for ALA with Snowflake getting the ball coming out of half again. Snowflake gets a stop, gets the ball back, and they could really do some damage.
Timeout taken by ALA West, trailing 14-0 with 7:22 to go. It's Show Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk106.7.com.
Welcome to Horn Auto Center. I'm Rochelle, and we are the Chevy GMC Cadillac store that saves you more. The 2026 vehicles are here. Come check out our great deals on new Chevy, GMC, and Cadillac. We have tons of Chevy Trax and Chevy Trailblazers and lots of pretty colors. $2,500 off makes them all priced under $30,000. Come in and see us. We are Horn Auto Center, the Chevy, Cadillac, and GMC store that saves you more.
We can remind you now officially that at halftime we are going to show you all of the Lobo Marching Pride's performance.
Lobo Marching Band.
Lobo Marching Band.
Pride, I'm proud of them. That's an awesome group. TK Rollins is doing a great job with them.
So stick around at halftime. You can watch all of that. Is now a handoff is given to the up man, and running all through some contact there was whom?
25. Cotton, I think he said, he plays middle linebacker too.
Yes, Hunter Cotton there with the big run.
Hunter Cotton.
That's a big shot in the arm. Going to have him now in a second and short situation. Second time that ALA West has found themselves in this situation.
They've gone away from the three wide out, one back set. Now they're loading the backfield up here for a little more, straight ahead running.
Again going with Cotton as he slips one tackler to get to the 35 and then is upended at the 39, gains 10. And there's the first down. I was going to postulate that this might be like when a basketball team is having a little bit of a hard time finding the mark, and then as soon as they see it go in the hole, kind of give them a little bit of confidence. They had to completely go to a different formation, though, to get that confidence.
And it looks like Snowflake's going to counter with a 5-man front here as well.
We'll turn this time and give it back to Rosenthal, but he's met in the backfield and can't get back to the line of scrimmage. First man there for the Lobos. Was that Rabin or?
I think that was Merrill first.
2 yards on the
But Merrill slowed him up, and then Rabin probably came up and made the stop.
It's really
Rosenthal had 192 yards. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but now he's down to 4 on 7 carries.
Yeah, and it's really fun to watch the adjustments. That they go to those 3 backs and that stacked eye. I don't know what I'd call that thing, and Snowflake just responds with a 5-man front. They got 10 guys in the box. Kind of fun to watch the coaches kind of go at it with each other here.
Rosenthal this time makes a nice cut to his left, gets over the line of scrimmage into the 39, gains 2, but it's third and long again.
And an acknowledgement, I guess, from ALA West, the coaching staff, that they're probably not going to be able to throw the ball well enough to do anything. If they, a successful drive here and points before halftime would be huge. This feels like a blowout. It's only 14-0.
Now in a passing situation, Jones and Willis are going to get deep. Going to continue to use the 2 up men in the I formation with Rosenthal dotting. Serrano goes under center. Now crowding it with another 5th down lineman. Lobos expected this one to be given away to one of those up men. No, it's a turn and fake and throw it downfield, but well overthrown and into double coverage. Well defended there by Snowflake after I bought both of those fake handoffs. But credit Jones and Willis, they were all over it.
Yeah, and a really good job by Wyatt Johnson to keep contain out there and not kind of overrun that play and keep the quarterback, forced him into that throw, into that double coverage, and they had that wide out bracketed, in front and behind. A really good job defensively there by Snowflake.
Back to receive for the Lobos, Smith and Willis, as this kick a little bit shorter. And out of bounds at the 27. So roughly the same field position with 4:46. You talk about how now ALA West has been able to move the chains, but no points to show for it. Had to force the Lobos to make an adjustment before halftime. Snowflake seemingly was able to rise to the occasion. Now with an opportunity to go on a 4.5-minute drive and set up a received kick to do so again to start the second half. And at that point, the feeling like a blowout becomes something a little bit more real.
Yeah, if they get some points here and then get the ball back at half, ALA could be in some trouble.
Went 3 and out on their last drive. Coincidentally, the last 2 passes attempted by LeDuc were incomplete and intercepted. Pistol formation with Green behind him. Fakes the handoff, flips this one underneath, and a diving effort from Willis. Can't keep it off the floor. So now 0 for his last 3. The last completion for Leduc was that nifty one that he made when he ran all the way to the right and then all the way to the left. And able to connect with Christian Smith inside the 5.
I'm glad to see him throwing the ball a little more, working on that passing game. If you look at the receiving core with Christian Smith and Mason Rabin and Willis out there on the field and Gian Jones, that's one of the best you're going to find in all of 4A.
Got a couple of those guys coming out wide to the left. As turning, faked out one, and again trying to go underneath where I think this intended man was Jones off on the right, but it was deflected at the line.
Yeah, Gian just ran that little stop route, and good play by the defensive lineman there for ALA. If you're not going to get to the quarterback, get your arms up and try to get in the passing lane. He did a good job.
3rd down and 10 with 4:35 to go. Now ALA West is suddenly thinking we're going to get the ball back with an awful lot of time and 2 timeouts to play with. As 2 passing plays here have put the Lobos in another passing situation. Again, send 4 receivers to the line with 3 coming to the near side. Pressure being shown by Cotton as he's going to get through the line and deflect that pass, have it fluttering and falling. Fortunately for Snowflake, incomplete. That delayed blitz there from Cotton seemed as if it caught the Snowflake youthful offensive line a little bit unawares.
It was a little delayed, and nobody picked him up, and so Leduc was probably seeing him coming, but thought he had time to get rid of that ball. You talked about the chess match between the 2 coaching staffs, and you definitely see an adjustment from the Guardians on their defensive front. They're a lot less aggressive coming across the ball, just trying to contain a little bit more here.
Trying to take advantage of that aggression again, Leduc. Hard count from the shotgun. Now he's going to switch places with Green, and a timeout will be taken by Snowflake as the countdown had started to occur. Not willing to give up a few yards. As again, it feels like a blowout, but it also, on the other hand, feels as if this could start to put Snowflake on its heels if this running game from ALA West is able to find its footing. Pun intended. Remind you, at halftime, we'll have the Honda Ski and Outdoor Sports Store halftime show, but also stick around for the Lobo. Oh, I got it wrong again. Marching band, Lobo Marching Band.
Lobo Marching Band.
How do I get that wrong?
Interesting.
Too plain for you?
Guess.
Maybe we need to come up with something a little bit more
Scrabble either.
razzle dazzle. I noticed the clock ran a few extra seconds off there on that when after that timeout was taken. I'm not going to throw shade on the home clock crew, though. They were texting me during the game last week telling me to be nice.
No.
That it's harder than it looks.
That is just the universe making a few things right after last week.
Be interested to see here ALA what their adjustment offensively is, what they're going to do to try to get that passing game on track.
Nobody back to receive. Wow. As this is going to roll as long as it wants to. Bounces at the 20, the 15, the 11.
Yeah, I understand why, with the quarterback and the punt, but, inside your own 25 on a 4th and 10, I don't know if I'd be willing to give up those yards on the back end of that punt.
61-yard punt there for Leduc.
And it's just going to roll. And especially having trouble throwing the football, you're down under 4 minutes in the half, or right at 4 minutes. Going to be awfully difficult to run all the way through, run this thing down.
Especially when you just recently were able to go into the full ground and pound formation to get a first down. Now need 89 yards to try to cut the deficit in half before halftime. Snowflake right now trying to adjust along its front, still going with 5 down despite a single back set. Fake the handoff. Serrano wants to unload down the near sideline, jockeying for position, both players, and a nice job by the referees allowing them to do so as they were both pushing each other. Got a very frustrated Cannon Trethal, who was the intended receiver, but he was giving as much as he was receiving as far as the physicality goes down this near sideline.
Yeah, they were both battling pretty hard, and then once Rabin got a beat on that ball, he turned and made a good play on it. So I agree with you. good no call there.
And when that ball kind of hangs up there, it's it's hard to play defensive back on that. You just got to find the ball like Mason did.
4:04 to go, second down and 10. Guardians continue to find themselves in these second and third and long situations. A little bit of confusion about where to put Rosenthal. Stays on the left. Pocket moves in that direction. Trying to throw this one up, but it's going to be hung up and underneath that one. As catching that is Bove. And that's a huge gain all the way out to, the 35. The way that was hanging, I thought that the Snowflake defender, Willis, was going to be able to get in front of that one, but just delivering that one in the nick of time and a gain of 28 yards to move the chains.
Exactly what they needed there, a big play in the passing game.
Again from the shotgun. Gunn going to air it out. Throw this one down the far sideline where it hangs up and is intercepted this time.
Yeah, you could see that from the original. Gian had just a really good job kind of blanketing that route. He stayed inside of the receiver, and he's just a really good athlete, and he's going to go up and get that ball. Really good job high point. I mean, that's about as good as you can play at that cornerback spot on that throw.
We neglected to really celebrate his interception last week, which in hindsight might have been the play of the game, the way that thing ended. He continued to stifle that Coconino offense. At the time, it just seemed like it was more of the same. But they went on the 94-yard drive. Now you're seeing this ALA West team with a little bit of confidence in Jones again there to take the wind out of the sails with his second pick of the season. Gives it right back to the Lobos. Same spot of the field where they've had a hard time moving out of here around the 25. Have gone 3 and out on their last 2 possessions, 3 of their last 4. Fake the handoff. I'm going to throw this one down the far side where Smith's got a little bit of space. And does he stay in bounds? It seems as if he is in bounds, but there's a flag at the 48. Or was he out of bounds?
I think he ruled him out of bounds, and I think the flag, I'm not sure if that's going against the Lobos or
pass interference signaled against ALA West.
Well, it's hard. Every time there's a flag, the ALA kids are pointing at Snowflake, and Snowflake's pointing at the ALA way.
But different situation there. Smith's by him. He's either pulling on his jersey or pushing him out of bounds there. It's just not quite the same as what we saw between Rabin and the receiver down this sideline.
Wait, got an official coming off the near sideline now as that first down moves it out to the 44 of the Lobos. 3:43 to go, 14-0 Snowflake leads.
And Smith does a pretty good job too, is he gets his arm out and kind of creates a little bit of distance, but he does it early enough in the route that it's before anybody's making a play on the ball. And you're much more apt to let an official allow you to do that than if you're, when both players are trying to make a play on the ball and you got your hands on each other.
Had a couple of Lobo coaches out on the field. They don't look like they're pleased with whatever's been determined.
Might have been something going with the clock again, but we're going to roll with it.
Handoff, Green has to cut it up after he looked like he was trying to sprint to the corner. Nice job making that a 4-yard gain. That's his first carry since the touchdown.
Yeah, you can see the physicality of Snowflake's kind of take over. I mean, there's 5 different ALA kids on the ground on that run play, and usually you see that when teams are starting to dominate the other team in the run game.
These Lobos have been playing in the 4A for a few years now, and they're also accustomed to playing 5,600 feet above sea level.
True.
Here's a pistol formation. We'll turn and give Green, and he is immediately met in the backfield by a couple of different Guardians, including Cotton. I think he got there first.
Turning up that aggression on the defensive front again, and I think you'll probably see the Lobos try to do something to take advantage of that on this next play here.
So the reason why Snowflake was trying to kind of go with the shorter routes on the last possession and throw underneath to soften up a lot of that aggression that ALA West was throwing at them?
A little bit, I think, spread that, force them to have to play sideline a little bit more. And
third and long. Now LeDuc has to move up in the pocket, able to get this one intercepted as he was trying to throw this one, dropped between 2 defenders, and a nice job there picking that one off with help waiting behind him was Matthew Lee.
A really nice play there. He dropped in the zone and got underneath that route and Jacob coming out rolling to his left maybe didn't have as much on that football as he wanted to, but a really good play by Lee to go up and get that ball. He's a bigger kid, but made a really athletic play on that football. It's a really nice play.
So the previous possession, ALA West was trying to air it out. The possession before that went with 3 men in the backfield, I formation. We're able to get a first down on each of those, but the last play was picked off as that was Serrano's first interception. Now Leduc has 2. A little bit more customary as there was all sorts of confusion.
I think that's going back 5 here.
That's the 8th penalty now against ALA West.
Illegal procedure on the Guardians. They'll put them back 5 yards. First and 15.
2 minutes and 20 seconds left. Snowflake has 2 timeouts. Do you think about using those now to preserve clock, or does that all depend upon how this first down goes?
I think they're expecting them to throw the ball here, which will probably allow them to save those timeouts.
Serrano with the short drop out of the gun. Looks left. Pressured now from that direction, starts running to the right, drop it off underneath where it was caught by Rosenthal at the 40. That is a tough way to gain 3.
3 yards and he gets out of bounds, so that helps preserve some time here too.
Yeah, this is a big play now. If they don't get a positive gain on this thing, I'm sure Snowflake's going to get well, they still got enough time that they may be able to let one more play go by before they use their timeouts, but
hurrying off to the sideline, one of the Lobo linemen. 3 receivers with 2 to the near side on the short side. Serrano seems to be looking toward his sideline. Everybody else now joining him. Still got time as now the Lobos look to crowd the line of scrimmage. Throw this one short and underneath. It's going to hang up after it was deflected. Picked off by Merrill as he's at the 30 and down to the 20.
Hayden Nichols.
Oh, Nichols.
On the pick. I was excited to see him running the ball. He's actually a very effective running back too. I thought he was going to break a tackle and take that one in.
Just a great reaction by him. It looked like the wideout tried to turn up before he caught the ball and let that ball get in on his pads, and you get that ricochet, and Nichols is doing a great job flowing to the football. He did a great job flowing to the football and opportunistic.
Timing was just right on the hit, yeah.
Really reminiscent of Aiden Curry last year. I don't know how many Aiden had on that tie. It felt like every other game he was getting a bounce interception.
Over his last 6 with 2 interceptions, Leduc going to come to the line of scrimmage with Green, who now has -1 yards on 2 carries since he had that touchdown. Tried to set this one up with some misdirection. Get it to Rabin as he's going to be tracked down from behind after he caught it at the 20. Tackled forward to the 12. It's a gain of 9.
Really like that play design, faking that run to the right, sneaking Rabin up behind it. A little fake and a little waggle to the left, and got Mason out there by himself. Really nice design on that play. Really take advantage of those aggressive linebackers.
Call it an 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. Clock running at 90 seconds to play in the half. From the shotgun, Leduc, hard count. Nobody moving from the Guardians. Now as he turns and gives to Green right up the middle, he's able to chip his way and stay on his feet toward the 5. Gains 7 and makes it 1st and goal from the 6.
Green doing a good job of showing some patience there, staying behind blockers in the middle and then finding a little bit of a seam off to his right to pick up some extra yardage there.
Minute and 10 seconds left. Snowflake can afford with 2 timeouts to be as patient as it wants. Already leading 14-0 here in the closing moments of the 2nd quarter. Jones comes out lone man wide left, got 2 going to the right side. Design run here for Leduc as he goes over the left side through an arm tackle to the end zone. He's in from 7 yards out for a score, a Comfort Fit Dentures touchdown.
Touchdown by Jacob Leduc.
Yeah, and you're kind of last week we got a lot of Green at the goal line, and tonight we're getting a lot more of Leduc, and again they're using Green to kind of lead that play, get another blocker in there, and just kind of outnumber the interior of the ALA defense to get a hat on everybody, and Jacob's awfully tough to bring down one-on-one.
Yep, turns a single backfield into 2 backs again, and that was a great run by Jacob.
20-0. Here comes Norton. Snap is down again. All sorts of pressure coming from the right side, but he's able to bang it through. 21-0, the Lobos lead with 51 seconds left in the second quarter. It's Show Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 1067 and iTalk1067.com.
What would you buy with a $3,000 shopping spree at Sportsman's Warehouse? You could load up for hunting, fishing, and camping. Grab a Traeger or a Pit Boss smoker, high-end Vortex optics, or top-notch boots and outdoor gear. When you get your insured windshield replaced by Mountain Mobile Auto Glass and Tint, you get your choice of 2 dinners at Los Corrales and 2 movie tickets, or a $100 window tint certificate. You're entered to win the $3,000 shopping spree at Sportsman's Warehouse. Call Mountain Mobile Auto Glass and Tint today.
24, 1 point difference from the Lobos fund.
Northland Pioneer College kickoff. When it's time to kick off your college education, do so at Northland Pioneer College. Pay the lowest tuition in the state. You can pursue 4-year degrees in education and business. As the Lobos able to take advantage of the turnover, the second interception in as many possessions, as this one's going to get into the end zone to get out to the 20-yard line, and it seems as if the Guardians at this point, it would behoove them anyway to take a knee and get into the locker room, or I guess just hand it off to Rosenthal and see if he can pop one. But he might be excited for the locker room in his own right. 10 carries. Yeah.
It's kind of great to see Norton go from last week. That first kick kind of hung up and was a little short, and he got that one right to the goal line, and you can just kind of feel the confidence, right, coming from him on all the kicks, kickoffs, extra points. It's nice to kind of see that growth.
You definitely take one aspect out of the game, one thread out of the game when you don't allow teams to have a chance to run back kickoffs.
Finish that thought on Rosenthal. 8 yards, not 10, 6 carries. 8 carries, 6 yards. 3 tackles for loss, 2 for no gain of those 8. They're going to run this play to the near side, trying again to find somebody behind the defense as it was nearly completed after Serrano, the freshman, got punched in the chest. And take a look at this replay. No, they got his arm on the follow-through. Oh, boy, that...
Merrill looks like he came off the edge when he saw him rolling that way and was able to affect the throw. Almost completed it anyway, but you got to wonder if you do that a couple more times, you're going to leave time on the clock for the Lobos.
2 timeouts.
Take another shot here.
And that brings those 2 timeouts right into play now.
3 receivers coming to the near side, 1 split wide left. Again, trying to move the pocket to the near side, looking like they want to set up a screen, but that was hit behind the line of scrimmage. Rosenthal looked like he was hoping for an interference flag, but
23 on the screen pass.
Correct me if I'm wrong. You can go ahead and make some contact behind the line of scrimmage, can you not?
Yeah, that was a screen play, and so it was all good. I think he went up to get the ball and came down on his own lineman there that was blocking.
Yes. And it's Camilo Castillo who's down still, as we have a Summit Healthcare Regional Medical Center injury report. Castillo was he was actually disrupting the play, as he and I don't know who he was blocking, but they had got tangled up something fierce.
Yeah,
there's a lot of concern down there for Castillo. Defensive
tackle was doing a good job there of trying to just staying low and getting some push there, not getting pushed out of the way at least. And
Summit Regional Medical Center has everything your athlete needs to get back in the game. It looks like they might be looking at a high ankle, or at least you hope it's that, because otherwise, are you talking broken leg?
Yeah,
Or are they testing the knee?
I was wondering when he touched his left leg if he was pointing to the upper left leg, or just that meant it was his left leg that was hurt.
Looks like he's going to need a minute, or does he? Nope, he's getting helped up. See how he's able. Ooh, he's not putting a lot of weight on that.
I think you're right. I think they're looking at that ankle.
Well, who did he get tangled up with there?
It was Wyatt Johnson.
The Lobos have taken a timeout here as the clock was going to run once they set the ball and got everybody lined up.
We'll take it with them. 35 seconds left, 21-0 Snowflake leads. It's Show Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk 106.
Northland Pioneer College is cheering for you on and off the field. Secure a win by enrolling in college courses at NPC. Earn college credits in high school, learning new skill or trade. Complete classes that will transfer to any Arizona university. NPC has 3 new bachelor's degree programs and over 100 associate degrees, certificates, and areas of study to choose from. The playing field for your future is wide open. Take a shot and score big by enrolling in classes at NPC, Northland Pioneer College. Your journey starts here.
Snowflake will have 1 timeout left if it chooses. As you've seen ALA West go from want to really lean on Rosenthal from the ground game to really put power packages in the backfield to now really spreading out Serrano and seeing if he can make a play with his arm. Getting a little bit of a taste of everything here from the Guardians as it's 3rd down and 12. This one's going to come to the near side into all sorts of coverage. Picked off, going in the other direction. Raven takes that one to the 30, stays in bounds inside the 20. Now the Lobos have 25 seconds and a timeout to try to get a 4th score on the board.
Well, even worse, you know, we've been questioning the throwing, choosing to throw at this point instead of just running out the clock, but throwing an interception, and the Lobos are probably going to come away at least with a few points here.
Well, and it's just, you know, offensively you're not executing at a super high level to try to think you're going to go 80 yards in a minute. I mean, certainly you like the aggressiveness, but, you know, sometimes the other decision's better.
Leduc pressured from the right, runs in that direction. He's going to tuck it over the 20 to the 15 and toward the 10, and Snowflake will quickly take a timeout.
Leduc on the
did not get a first down. Looks like he gained 7. Ran right into that pressure.
2nd and 3. Timeout Lobos. 17 seconds to go.
This is Snowflake's last timeout. Go, Coach.
Picking on the Guardians a lot, but that's a situation where you'd rather see Leduc just get rid of that ball instead of having to burn that timeout. You may need to use that timeout to get your field goal team on the field or something like that. So I love to see him run, but in this situation, you want him getting rid of that ball, and incomplete pass will
with that in mind, you got 17 seconds. Is that enough time for 2 shots to the end zone? Does it have to go to the end zone? Or did it just get it to the sideline? Like, how do you use these 17 seconds?
You can work the sideline, but I mean, you're so close right here. I think you can take shots all over the field. You're close enough to be able to do that, but without that timeout, it definitely takes away the run threat. With Brenner, you know, you could have handed that off and given him a shot too. That'd take out that dimension here.
Going to again go with the pistol. Green, the aforementioned, behind Leduc as he takes a short drop, throws this one to the back corner into traffic, jumping and trying to get underneath that one. It was intended for Jones.
Yeah, again, we talked about his athleticism on that interception, and it was kind of drawn up as the same type of idea.
Yep.
And he made a pretty good play on the ball. It was just, you know, a couple inches too far.
So 3rd down and 4. But essentially 3rd and goal with only 12 seconds left. Coming from the 13-yard line-ish.
Yep, 13, I believe.
Same formation. Jones split wide left. Another short drop. Again, looking in this direction as this one is held up by a nice defensive effort there. Who is there on the coverage? That was Morales.
I haven't gotten a good look at his number yet. 7.
That was Morales. So that'll bring the field goal unit out. 4th and 3. Norton has been pressured from the right side with a great push there. I think that is Anaya who's been able to come off that right edge. He's got it ready to be teed up at the 20, so a 30-yarder. This time they chip him, and it's going to allow enough time for Norton to bang. That would have been good from about 40 or 45, I tell you what. With 3 seconds to go, makes the Snowflake lead 24-0.
Well,
came off the foot really nicely, eh?
Yeah, you know, at this point, that's a a big plus for the Lobos. Every chance you get for that kicker to gain a little more confidence. As only a sophomore, that's going to pay off, and they're going to have him for years to come.
He's going to have an opportunity now with 3 seconds. Last kick went right at the goal line. Ultimately resulted in the 3rd turnover in as many possessions for ALA West. All of them have been interceptions. Snowflake set to receive the kick. As this one's going to be low, but hold on a minute. For the Lobos offside?
Yeah. They were certainly offside on this, or the Snowflake sideline edge. I don't, but it came from the other officials, so they might have been a step early up top too. And with you, Coach, I think I just bury this thing right over.
Yeah, you got, especially now that you're 5 yards back, is a huge wide open space over on the numbers here on this this sideline, this near sideline.
Just plant this thing about the 30-yard line and call it good.
One return man standing straight away, and the other is outside the far hash. So the left side of the field, left half of the field, wide open, but going to squib this one toward the guy straight away. That's Rosenthal as he elevates to take this one, gets to the 20, to the 30, and then runs into traffic. Oh boy, some extracurricular shoving there.
Rosenthal, the ball carrier on the kick.
And that's the way the first half goes. 24-0, the Lobos lead. We'll start the Honda Ski and Outdoor Sports Store halftime show after this. It's Show Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk106.7.com.
At Summit Healthcare, you'll find a level of care you might not expect from a rural hospital. We've recently received 5 stars from CMS, a prestigious ranking that less than 5% of facilities in Arizona earned. Our cancer center has proven its level of advanced care with a national accreditation from the Commission on Cancer. And we continue to add more doctors and services so that you don't have to leave the mountain to find the care you need. At Summit Healthcare, we're elevating care here at home.
Want the best deal on your new car, truck, van, or SUV? Go to Showlow Ford. Showlow Ford has the best deals. Not only does Showlow Ford sell the #1 truck in America, Guy Hatch guarantees you won't find a better deal on that truck anywhere else. Showlow Ford sells the best at the best price. Showlow Ford on the east end of the Deuce and at showlowford.com.
You've been there, waiting forever at the gas station for the guy to free up so he can fill up your propane tank. Or worse, when the only qualified propane technician decided to stay home that day. Yep, you've been there and I have too. That's why now I get my propane from Ace Hardware every time. You get Ace Hardware's world-famous customer service when you stop in for propane. That's right, you get in, you get out, and you get a great deal on propane and everything else. From Ace Hardware at their locations in Pine Top and Heber. Ace Hardware is proud to support White Mountain Sports.
You have a vision, a brand to build, a message to share. You need signs that turn heads, apparel that makes a statement, banners that grab attention, and business cards to leave a lasting impression. Your success starts with the right tools. That's where we come in. Allegra Sholo brings your ideas to life with custom designs and top quality products, helping you stand out and grow your brand. Let's make something amazing together. Call Allegra Sholo today.
This is iTalk 106.7's presentation of the Honda Outdoor Ski and Sports Store halftime show.
And senior drum major
Honda Ski and Outdoor Sports Store halftime show for the best selection of hiking, camping, hunting, and fishing gear. Go to the Honda Ski and Outdoor Store north of Pine Top on Highway 260 just before you get to the Honda Casino. Going to get you the performance for the Lobo marching band here as they get ready to take the field. We got some quick thoughts, especially you talked to Coach Solomon about how this was a chess match between these two coaching staffs. Both have forced the other to make some big adjustments. What adjustments have they seen, and how is this all broken in Snowflake's favor?
Well, it's tougher for the Guardian coaching staff. The Lobos, things have gone really well for them. Pretty much everything they've wanted to do, they found ways to make it work. The Guardians went to that heavy set, double tight end, heavy backfield to try to just pound the ball and went away from it probably a little more quickly than I would. I think that might be their best chance for a run-heavy team like they are.
All right, this is the Honda Ski and Outdoor Sports Store halftime show. After this, we'll have the Lobo Marching Band. So don't go anywhere. Show Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk106.7.com.
For years, he's battled the toughest opponent of his life.
He's down.
But today, with Dr. Arnaud and Comfort Fit Dentures, the fight changes. With Comfort Fit Dentures and Sholo, you can taste the victory. With free exams and x-rays, an in-house lab, and payment plans starting at just $110 a month, Comfort Fit makes it easy to claim victory. Call today for your free exam and x-rays.
Want the best deal on your new car, truck, van, or SUV? Go to Sholo Ford. Sholo Ford has the best deals. Not only does Sholo Ford sell the #1 truck in America, Guy Hatch guarantees you won't find a better deal on that truck anywhere else. Sholo Ford sells the best at the best price. Sholo Ford on the east end of the Deuce and at sholoford.com.
The Lobo Pride Marching Band would like to thank this year's sponsors: Restore Pro, Aliberto's, Asian Bistro and Sushi and Taylor, J.D. Parker, Horseman Insurance, and Price Mortgage. Nice job.
That's the Lobo Marching Band. We'll continue the Honda Ski and Outdoor Sports Store show after this. Show Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk 106.7.com.
When you think glass, Think Deemer's Glass in Lakeside. Deemer's Glass offers the best selection of quality glass with affordable prices. They do full home window packages, replacement windows, custom shower doors and enclosures, custom mirrors in many shapes, styles, and colors, glass doors and hardware, commercial glass for buildings and offices, skylights, screens, fire-rated glass for your fireplace or stove, window film, and more. Visit Deemer's Glass today on Porter Mountain Road in Lakeside or call 1-888-GLASSMAN.
Want to go fishing? Head to Honda Ski and Outdoor Sport. They have fishing supplies, outdoor fishing attire, and fishing gear. Plus all kinds of bait including live worms, flies, and lures. The staff are experienced anglers and they can advise you on what you need, where to go, and what type of bait the fish are biting on. Plus, pick up your fishing, camping, and boat permits. When you think fishing, think Honda Ski and Outdoor Sport. Located on Highway 260, 1 mile before the casino.
Welcome to Horn Auto Center. I'm Rochelle, and we are the Chevy GMC Cadillac store that saves you more. The 2026 vehicles are here. Come check out our great deals on new Chevy, GMC, and Cadillac. We have tons of Chevy Trax and Chevy Trailblazers and lots of pretty colors. $2,500 off makes them all priced under $30,000. Come in and see us. We are Horn Auto Center, the Chevy, Cadillac, and GMC store that saves you more.
What would you buy with a $3,000 shopping spree at Sportsman's Warehouse? You could load up for hunting, fishing, and camping. Grab a Traeger or a Pit Boss smoker, high-end Vortex optics, or top-notch boots and outdoor gear. When you get your insured windshield replaced by Mountain Mobile Auto Glass and Tint, you get your choice of 2 dinners at Los Corrales and 2 movie tickets, or a $100 window tint certificate. You're entered to win the $3,000 shopping spree at Sportsman's Warehouse. Call Mountain Mobile Auto Glass and Tint today.
Northland Pioneer College is cheering for you on and off the field. Secure a win by enrolling in college courses at NPC. Earn college credits in high school, learn a new skill or trade. Complete classes that will transfer to any Arizona university. NPC has 3 new bachelor's degree programs and over 100 associate degrees, certificates, and areas of study to choose from. The playing field for your future is wide open. Take a shot and score big by enrolling in classes at NPC. Northland Pioneer College. Your journey starts here.
At Summit Healthcare, you'll find a level of care you might not expect from a rural hospital. We've recently received 5 stars from CMS, a prestigious ranking that less than 5% of facilities in Arizona earned. Our cancer center has proven its level of advanced care with a national accreditation from the Commission on Cancer. And we continue to add more doctors and services so that you don't have to leave the mountain to find the care you need. At Summit Healthcare, we're elevating care here at home.
Want the best deal on your new car, truck, van, or SUV? Go to Showlow Ford. Showlow Ford has the best deals. Not only does Showlow Ford sell the #1 truck in America, Guy Hatch guarantees you won't find a better deal on that truck anywhere else. Showlow Ford sells the best at the best price. Showlow Ford on the east end of the Deuce and at showlowford.com.
You've been there waiting forever at the gas station for the guy to free up so he can fill up your propane tank. Or worse, when the only qualified propane technician decided to stay home that day. Yep, you've been there and I have too. That's why now I get my propane from Ace Hardware every time. You get Ace Hardware's world-famous customer service when you stop in for propane. That's right, you get in, you get out, and you get a great deal on propane and everything else. From Ace Hardware at their locations in Pine Top and Heber. Ace Hardware is proud to support White Mountain Sports.
Okay. Honda Ski and Outdoor Sports Store halftime show for the best selection of hiking, camping, fishing, hunting gear. Go to Honda Ski and Outdoor Sports Store. It's north of Pine Top on Highway 260. Just before you get to the Honda Casino, 24-0. The Lobos lead here at halftime. Got a 3-and-out to start after they won the toss and elected to defer. Forced ALA West to go backwards. Got a short field 55 yards away from pay dirt. Were able to chip their way down. And Guy Chili, what happened next?
Dathan LeDuc ran a ball in for 2 yards for a touchdown, and Snowflake went up 7-0.
That's his first of his 2 rushing touchdowns as they continue to force ALA West into all sorts of long fields and benefit from short fields on the other side of it. Had a very nifty passing play to set up that 2-yard drive as LeDuc was able to connect with Christian Smith
for 20 yards to get inside the 5, but otherwise, you got a 20-yard run from Brenner Green.
Brenner Green had a 20-yard touchdown run, and it was right up the middle. He carried half of ALA's defense with him, and it put Snowflake up 14-0.
And those are really the two big plays that the Lobos have been able to generate. Otherwise, really taking advantage of all sorts of turnovers that ALA West has been given away, especially after the deficit started to really swing in Snowflake's favor. The last 3 ALA West possessions ended in interceptions, the last of which was picked off by Rabin as he was able to run it inside the 20 and set up another short field, where this time who was able to take advantage?
Nathan LeDuc once again. Jacob LeDuc, 9-yard run. Norton had the extra point, and Snowflake went up 21-0.
21-0, and I think I just gave Rabin credit for the field goal.
As it was Norton.
Norton was able to get the field goal, but it was Rabin's interception that set that one up. But three interceptions ending the last ALA West 3 possessions as they trail 24-0 and are now looking at the prospect of having to kick it away and having the Lobo offense try to get some rhythm back. Though you got to credit the ALA West defense for really slowing down the Snowflake onslaught as both teams are taking the field. We will take a break as this has been the Honda Ski and Outdoor Sports Store halftime show. For the best selection of hiking, camping, hunting, and fishing gear, go to the Honda Ski and Outdoor Store north of Pine Top on Highway 260, just before you get to the Honda Casino. Back with the second half after this. It's Show Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 1067 and iTalk1067.com.
This has been iTalk 1067's presentation of the Honda Outdoor Ski and Sports Store halftime show.
You have a vision, a brand to build, a message to share? You need signs that turn heads, apparel that makes a statement, banners that grab attention, and business cards to leave a lasting impression. Your success starts with the right tools. That's where we come in. Allegra Sholo brings your ideas to life with custom designs and top quality products, helping you stand out and grow your brand. Let's make something amazing together. Call Allegra Sholo today.
For years, he's battled the toughest opponent of his life.
He's down!
But today, with Dr. Arnault and Comfort Fit Dentures, the fight changes. With Comfort Fit Dentures and Sholo, you can taste the victory. With free exams and x-rays, an in-house lab, and payment plans starting at just $110 a month, Comfort Fit makes it easy to claim victory. Call today for your free exam and x-rays.
Want the best deal on your new car, truck, van, or SUV? Go to Sholo Ford. Sholo Ford has the best deals. Not only does Sholo Ford sell the #1 truck in America, Guy Hatch guarantees you won't find a better deal on that truck anywhere else. Sholo Ford sells the best at the best price. Sholo Ford on the east end of the Deuce and at SholoFord.com.
When you think glass, think Deemer's Glass in Lakeside. Deemer's Glass offers the best selection of quality glass with affordable prices. They do full home window packages, replacement windows, custom shower doors and enclosures, custom mirrors in many shapes, styles, and colors, glass doors and hardware, commercial glass for buildings and offices, skylights, screens, fire-rated glass for your fireplace or stove, window film, and more. Visit Deemer's Glass today on Porter Mountain Road in Lakeside or call 1-888-GLASSMAN.
Want to go fishing? Head to Honda Ski and Outdoor Sport. They have fishing supplies, outdoor fishing attire, and fishing gear. Plus all kinds of bait including live worms, flies, and lures. The staff are experienced anglers and they can advise you on what you need, where to go, and what type of bait the fish are biting on. Plus, pick up your fishing, camping, and boat permits. When you think fishing, think Honda Ski and Outdoor Sport. Located on Highway 260, 1 mile before the casino.
Welcome to Horn Auto Center. I'm Rochelle, and we are the Chevy GMC Cadillac store that saves you more. The 2026 vehicles are here. Come check out our great deals on new Chevy, GMC, and Cadillac. We have tons of Chevy Trax and Chevy Trailblazers and lots of pretty colors. $2,500 off makes them all priced under $30,000. Come in and see us. We are Horn Auto Center, the Chevy, Cadillac, and GMC store that saves you more.
24-0. Lobos with the lead and won the toss and had elected to defer, which at the time seemed kind of like it was a hold your breath sort of moment, because this was a ball control sort of offense that we were expecting to see, but the Lobos have forced the freshman signal caller in Carlos Serrano to kind of take a lot of this onto himself. He's been able to connect a couple of times, but otherwise 3 interceptions. He's now 4 for 12 for 31 yards with 3 interceptions. Leading receiver is Dom Bove, who's got 3 catches for 29 yards. Otherwise, Aiden Anaya just 1 catch for -2 yards. You have Morales, who has 1 catch for -1 yards, and Rosenthal has a catch for 3 yards. He's been the story thus far is Kenyon Rosenthal. Last week, 15 carries, 192 yards. First half, 8 carries, 6 yards. As watch the Lobos have a little bit of a hard time with a mobile quarterback and a dual threat backfield last week against Coconino. But is the biggest takeaway after one half here that they done learned?
They definitely learned. They've scouted this team well, made some adjustments on things that they needed to, and you're seeing the results of that tonight. Coach Brogan and I have talked a little about, this is the fact that the Lobos really didn't have much film on Coconino and not many live reps before that Coconino game. And they definitely, you can see that the difference in the level of preparation for this game with just one game on film from the Guardians.
Here's an interesting score as we wait for the second half to begin. Florence, which had gone Mr. Potato Head against Sholo and Round Valley both, is leading ALA Ironwood 14-3.
Yeah, that's a big. ALA Ironwood was one of the teams talked about in the 3A, and so that's an interesting score. I think, too, you're seeing, though, Snowflake, you always talk about you make your biggest improvement from week 1 to week 2. I'm interested here. ALA did onside kick out of this formation last week against Westwood. Looks like, again, Snowflake looks prepared for it, but they did run the same formation, that bunched kickoff set, and did run a middle onside kick.
This is the Northland Pioneer College kickoff. When it's time to kick off your college education, do so at Northland Pioneer College. It's your hometown college. You pay the lowest tuition in the state, and there are bachelor's degree programs in education and business. One more score before we get this one kicked off. At halftime, Camelback leads Arcadia 15-10. That kick will go just around the pylon. And for a touchback.
That one surprises me too, Derek, with Arcadia going over to Bradshaw last week and beating Bradshaw pretty soundly. I expect Arcadia to be a pretty good 4A team.
Yeah. Bradshaw 40, Independence nothing at halftime.
It's like they've made a few course corrections too.
Wonder if somebody was hurt.
Well,
all right.
That's the Lobos' opponent next week, so we'll get a chance to see what they've got.
Apollo, this can't be right. Apollo 71, Horizon 42.
You'll get some wonky things on Max Prep.
Seriously.
Yeah, basketball season started.
Here comes Leduc around the right side, able to sprint to the 30 and is very close to a first down.
Yeah, and I think, again, you're seeing those outside runs just to kind of take advantage of that aggressive inside linebacker play. It's been pretty successful tonight for the Lobos.
You look at Cotton. Cotton's the size of most of the Lobo offensive and defensive linemen playing that middle linebacker spot, so making him run side to side is not a bad idea.
Did move the chains, as this is 1st and 10 from the 30 after the 10-yard run from Leduc, is going to go right back to it, using Green as a blocker, gets around the edge to the 35 and spun out of bounds at right around the 40. He's very close to another first down.
And again, a good design and a really good block there by Green. You saw that outside linebacker had come in and tried to fill, and Green did a good job sealing that edge, and you can see a little bit of Jacob's speed there to get that corner and get out. So.
Now on 10 carries, he has 45 yards. It's absolutely, if nothing else, nice to see him not have that negative thing hanging around him, because he did do such a good job with his feet last week against Coconino. Just had all those sacks. They're going to go right back to it. Now he's going to hold up. He wanted to pass this one. Now a flag comes out in the vicinity of holding as he spun down. As soon as I mentioned the S word, it's right back at it, as that would be the second sack and assuming that that's going to stand, as this looks like it's going to be a hold. And confirmed.
Yeah, I think you're seeing a conscious effort to get Jacob a little bit more on track. They know that he's doing well. Did well last week, doing well tonight, but they want to see him even a little bit more dominant on the field out there.
Yeah, I don't see any scenario where they accept this penalty.
The Guardians will decline that play, so that'll bring up, I believe, third.
Make it third down and 8 after the loss of 7. I believe Gilbert Highland went to Anna, Texas. And I'm trying to find a score for that one. I'm sure that a lot of our listening audience is interested in that one, as it was deflected at the line of scrimmage and going to fall incomplete. So a drive that started with so much promise fizzles after the sack, as that looked like it was deflected by Matthew Lee, who's had a big play on the defensive side, intercepting one of the Duke's passes.
Guardian defensive ends have done a good job of taking away that passing lane. They've tried to run some little hitches, little curl routes on the edge, and haven't been able to be successful.
Well, and again, you've got the punter quarterback thing going on, and they draw them off sides, and you go from a really unlikely scenario where they're going to go for it on 4th and 8. Now you put them in a 4th and 3, and now you can't drop that safety back, and just those small things add up.
Going to go ahead and run a play. Here's LeDuc. Oh, is met in the backfield and tackled by 3 Guardians, including Matthew Lee. Tried to go with a quick count there, but the Guardians were ready for it. ALA West gets the stop, now has excellent field position indeed. This is the first time they've had the offense in Snowflake territory.
Yeah, maybe the first call we can really question by the Snowflake coaching staff there. I could see 4th and 3, but they definitely set the Guardians up for an opportunity here.
So now do you continue to chuck with Serrano after he throws those 3 interceptions, or if you have a shorter field, do you get back to a little bit more of your bread and butter?
I certainly, if I were coaching, I'd go back to that 3-back set and try to pound this thing out a little bit. But
Rosenthal's going to start on the right side, now move over to the left of Serrano. He's got 2 receivers going in the opposite direction. As he drops back, he's going to throw. He's pressured from the far side, throws this one in traffic up the middle. Going to be caught by
number 6,
Anaya, and have a first down.
But I guess that's why we're up here, Coach, right? Because pretty nice play there and good ball to the tight end. That's the best ball I think he's thrown all night. A little bit of zip on that.
Yeah, put it right in the window there. And first down.
Under 11 minutes to go on to third. Just outside the red zone. After that, 24-0 Snowflake leading. Again, going to drop back, pressured from behind, moving the pocket to the right side, looking for some time there. As he flips this one
10 yards downfield.
The goal line and incomplete, but I don't see any of those flags that you just mentioned, Mike.
2nd and 10 for the Guardians.
Yeah, they missed that one. When he broke, the tackle was at least 7 yards downfield. But
I think that was a designed little bubble screen intended for behind the line of scrimmage, and number 6 blocking on the outside linebacker over there was an awfully long block. He sustained that for a long time. I was expecting to see a flag come out on it.
2nd down and 10 after the incompletion. This time goes under center, turn and give. Rosenthal dives up the middle, goes over the 20 and gains 3 to make it 3rd and 7. It's still just 24-0. So is this a scenario where they don't get it? Can you go ahead and use the turnover to get 3 on the board, trail just 3 touchdowns, or do you got to get this in the end zone?
Well, I certainly would want to get this thing in the end zone. I think you're only down 3 scores with the 2-point conversions here. A field goal doesn't really, I guess it makes you not have to get the 2-point conversions. But
there's a lot of time, though, is it? Well, that's not going to help. As that running play is going to be stopped at the right side of the line. Rosenthal's just had nothing to work with. Now 10 carries, 9 yards after that no gain.
Well, I'm just thinking now it sure feels like they go under center, they run the ball, they go shotgun, they throw the ball. It's wondering if you got a young quarterback, it's a little more difficult to throw out of that drop back.
I agree, Coach Brogan. That's
into kick. This is caught. Can't see who the holder is. As the snap is good, the kick is away. It's short, but it's just going to squeak over the crossbar. Gets ALA West on the board after the Lobos went for it on 4th and 3 deep in their own territory and couldn't convert. 24-3 though, Snowflake still leads with 9 minutes and 22 seconds to play in the third. Showdown Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 1067 and iTalk1067.com.
What would you buy with a $3,000 shopping spree at Sportsman's Warehouse? You could load up for hunting, fishing, and camping. Grab a Traeger or a Pit Boss smoker, high-end Vortex optics, or top-notch boots and outdoor gear. When you get your insured windshield replaced by Mountain Mobile Auto Glass and Tint, you get your choice of 2 dinners at Los Corrales and 2 movie tickets, or a $100 window tint certificate. You're entered to win the $3,000 shopping spree at Sportsman's Warehouse. Call Mountain Mobile Auto Glass and Tint today.
That's kind of what I feel like here.
Northland Pioneer College kickoff. When it's time to kick off your college education, you should do so at Northland Pioneer College. It's your hometown college. And you can pay the lowest tuition in the state and pursue bachelor's degrees in education and business. ALA West gets on the board. Again, comes out in that will they, won't they onside kick formation. And it looks like they won't. Don't want to cost yourself any momentum after you've been playing more than a half of football trying to generate some. As Cotton kicks this one, angling towards Smith. He will take it at the 1 and then run out of bounds. Oh, no. Just as had happened on the opening kick.
Yeah, ill-advised probably to take that in the corner when that most likely would have gone out of bounds on its own. But, Christian's he's a threat every time he's got the ball in his hands. Great speed, so I can't fault him for trying. But.
Well, and now they've had ALA's had some success getting in the backfield on these last 2 or 3 runs too, and wondering kind of where Snowflake will go. It's going to be. It's not. I guess they're at the 3, but they're still in that danger spot.
They did gain 19 yards on 2 quick runs to the right side, with Green serving as a lead blocker. As from the end zone, going to go to Green, he runs out to the 5 and then charges his way to the 10, gaining some badly needed yardage away from the goal line. Gain of 7, maybe 8.
So, Coach, when they run that stretch, are they looking at running it to the short side of the field, or is it just a right or a left? Is it a matchup thing with your linemen?
I think Green's definitely more comfortable running to the right side like that, but short side of the field, they might be seeing something in the defense, the way it's aligned, but they're choosing this side of the field.
2nd down and 2. Again go Green, again to the right, again to, all sorts of traffic, and a nice play there at the ball by one of the Guardians, but Green too strong, hangs on to it, and picks up the 1st down.
They, that one didn't look as much like the stretch. Green kind of looked like he was taking an angle more inside, but then he bounced that and managed to hold those linebackers inside. Once he got around the corner, there was a little bit of open space there. Almost broke that one.
He's deceptively quick.
Started on the 3, 2 plays later out to the 20, 8.5 to go, leading 24-3 from the shotgun with the pistol, and Green behind, turns and gets the call, and again bounces through traffic, comes to the right side. He's at the 30, he's at the 35, and then finally spilled at the 39, gain of 19. This started at the 3, and just 3 plays later, we got the good field position to the Lobos.
Yeah, again, just that looked like a little trap or counter trap by coming back to this right side again, and Green gets to that 2nd level, and there's not going to be a corner that's going to get him down one-on-one, and it's kind of fun to watch him run in the open field.
We had remarked that it looked as if the fronts on both sides of the ball for ALA West looked like they were having a little bit of a hard time with the fatigue And you wonder now how that's coming into play. There's Green bouncing off some more tacklers all the way out to the 50 and still hanging on to the football as he gains 11. Got a lot of guys in the second level making plays on that football right now, but it almost seems like that's happening out of desperation.
Yeah, I really like this decision by the Lobo coaching staff. You go back to your bread and butter. You know, Brenner Green showed you that he is always going to be tough to bring down. Get him running the ball, sustain a drive here, get that momentum back. You've given up enough of that momentum, so let's get that rolling the right way again.
This drive started on the 3, and Brenner Green has now gained almost 50 yards out into ALA West territory. Again, going to go with him as he has to make a cut to try to get back to the line of scrimmage. Won't do so, as you can really see the linebackers from the Guardians trying to get in and fill gaps. That time, a nice job there by Cotton again.
We talked last week with the offensive line being, 5 new offensive line starters and relatively young and inexperienced, but watching them progress, from last week, you could see them getting better throughout the game last week, and they look like they've continued that upward trend this week as well.
2nd and 11. First time that they've been stopped for little or no gain, as this time fake the handoff, turn to the left, flip this one up, hanging up and allowing for the defender to run underneath that one. Dangerous pass. Intended man for the Lobos was Liam Brewer, and there on the coverage. There on the coverage, I think that was Contreras.
That's a long throw across the field. You got it there, and Liam had a shot at catching that, but that corner was breaking on that too.
And they did a really good job getting Jacob contained again. They held that contain out on that edge.
Showing some pressure with Cotton, turn and give. Green trying to outrun him, does so as he stays on his feet, gets to the 50, to the 45. He should have been stopped for a 5-yard loss, instead able to gain 6.
We got a flag back at
where that tackle almost happened, back in the backfield.
Face mask? Oh, they're going to get the Lobos for holding.
Interesting. That's right about where that back tackle in the backfield was going to happen.
Yeah, if somebody held, they didn't do a very good job. Like I think they had those two defensive linemen right at the point of contact.
Maybe that's how Brenner got loose.
Yeah, well, maybe they did a great job.
So that's a spot foul. Flag was back at the 46, I believe. No, 44. Move it all the way back to the 34. They got to get to the 39-yard line.
A situation here where you want to try to get about half of that or something here to get back to a reasonable amount, and either go for it or punt it away.
Timeout taken by the Lobos with 6:21 to go into third. They lead 24-3. It's Show Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 or iTalk1067.com.
Northland Pioneer College is cheering for you on and off the field. Secure a win by enrolling in college courses at NPC. Earn college credits in high school, learn a new skill or trade. Complete classes that will transfer to any Arizona university. NPC has 3 new bachelor's degree programs and over 100 associate degrees, certificates, and areas of study to choose from. The playing field for your future is wide open. Take a shot and score big by enrolling in classes at NPC. Northland Pioneer College. Your journey starts here.
6:21 to go. Solomon, you just said that you want to get half of what seems like it's...
Yeah, as we were going to break, I think if you get this out to about the 50-yard line, then you could think about maybe going for it on 4th down. I don't know that I would. I think maybe you take advantage and pin them deep if you get to that 4th down situation. But
how do they keep Cotton from disrupting whatever it is they try to do here? Whether it seems like usually you go with a draw or something along those lines in this situation, is they're going to go ahead and staying back and allow Leduc to throw this one over the middle, and it's deflected and nearly intercepted. So there was no Cotton disruption that time.
No, he didn't rush. They dropped him in coverage along with everybody else.
Passing complete. That'll bring up 4th down and 34.
There was a lot of congestion there where Leduc was trying to drop that pass, but he nearly was able to put it in the midst of 3 defenders. But now facing 4th down I mean, there's so many yards, the scoreboard's not even attempting, so I can't really do the math either.
Yeah, it's 4th and 26, I think.
Yep, right around there.
I used to teach math too, so you got 2 math guys on this side.
One man back, I believe that is Anaya. Getting close to a delay a game, get the snap off, kick this one away from him. Is he's again going to step away and allow this to take a huge Snowflake bounce. Rolling inside the 10. Got somebody down there following 2 Snowflake players that are going to down it at the 8.
It's a great punt.
Well, and I think that's one thing with the turf is you got to field as many of those punts as you can. I mean, certainly you don't want to take a risk, but that one, I think it only bounced about 2 yards away from him, too. It wasn't, certainly if you want to fair catch it, I get that, but
yeah,
you got to field that.
I think that was catchable, and yeah, it cost that one's 30 yards on the ground almost, 25.
All right, long field again for the Guardians. Situation they've been in an awful lot today as they're going to start this one on their own 8. Got Rosenthal behind Serrano, who's under center. Fake the handoff, roll to the right side, drop this one off, and it's dropped there by Bose. Bigger part of Bose.
And that was a good job under center. They went to the play action, kind of snuck the tight end out, and they got a little bit of. They did get him open, on that short throw. It was a pretty good throw from the quarterback. They just weren't able to haul it in.
Definitely got Merrill, I think, from that outside backer spot. I think he bid on that fake, and they had the number 8 open out in the flat there.
Oh, we got all the way out to the 40.
And a student ID that has been found in the
36-0 Sholo leading in the 3rd. As out there getting helped off the deck is Cannon Trithal, but it looks like he was just cramping. Saw a lot of that the first 2 weeks, not so much today.
So that's our first cramp, right? We were 5+ the first 2 weeks, so maybe kids are getting a little better conditioned. Temperatures dropped a little bit.
Here come the Guardians after that injury timeout. Both sides went to the sideline. It's been a war. Lobos have been able to take advantage of a greater volume of turnovers and shorter fields that have resulted. That held ALA West to, I think, just 3 first downs thus far. As again under center goes Serrano. He's again got Rosenthal behind him. Set a man in motion left to right. Will turn and pitch. It was a very wide toss, and he did a great job running underneath that one, did Rosenthal, before he was able to get going upfield and only gain 2 yards, but that was the danger zone.
Yeah, very wide toss, and it looked like he was finding a little seam there, but it closed down. Some good pursuit down the defensive line there by, I think, Isaac Woodside for one, and they shut that down after a short gain.
Lobos shuttling a couple of their interior linemen in and out, as it's now another passing situation, going to be credited with just 1 yard there with Rosenthal, as he's standing on Serrano's right in the shotgun. Got 3 receivers with 2 going to the far side. Now a man in motion coming to the left. Try to swing this one out behind the line of scrimmage for Rosenthal. Has it on a screen. Gains it out to the 15. Seems as if the officials have marked him down. He didn't think he was down. They're going to say go ahead and keep going, even though the officials now finally are going to invoke the whistle. Let's take a look at the replay. Well, he might have a case.
A few years ago, they tried to teach us the whistle doesn't end the play. The officials were stressing that. And it kind of turned into some late hits and things like that in a situation just like that. So I think this crew went back to that for a second, but they apparently ruled it dead.
So the confusion did stop the clock. There it goes.
Like you said, though, I mean, it's a safety issue, right? Because I had the experience, we would play the ASDB school, which is a deaf and blind school. And so obviously it's all the deaf boys are playing. And so the whistle's kind of irrelevant. And it's kind of fascinating to watch how it works. But when you play a game without a whistle, it gives you a different perspective, I'll tell you that.
For sure.
Rosenthal going to kick this one away, blasts this one past midfield, taken by Smith, who's going to run back into ALA West territory all along the 45, trying to get to the far sideline before the coverage gets him. Pretty good return there after he made the goof on the kickoff on the previous opportunity. Smith runs that back into Guardian territory, so another short field here for the Lobos. Have not scored in the second half. Had a drive that started on the 3 and went into Guardian territory momentarily that sputtered. Wound up getting a great kick from Leduc to again keep the field position in their favor, but now trying to get some points here to gain a little separation because there is still 16 minutes and they are only up 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, you'd like to see them put together a drive here, put some points on the board. This third quarter, you know, the Guardians have made some good adjustments and just picked up their level of play.
From the gun, Leduc fakes the handoff. Green keeps that one, goes over the left side, and then spins his way over the 40.
Quarterback keeper.
Gains 5.
About 4 yards.
A little more success on that kind of that read play that time, and Jacob was able to find that seam. And
yeah, that time he's running in the middle, pulling that ball and running straight ahead.
Had a lot of success there in large part because he didn't have 3 defenders surrounding him as well.
Always helps.
Comes up now looking at a mid-range, 2nd down and 6. Same formation with Green standing behind him in the pistol. Turn this time and give to him straight away. Stays on his feet over the 40 and then fights his way toward the 35. Looked like he was going to get stopped for little to no gain and winds up with 4.
Well, it's really fun to kind of watch the intricacies of the running game here and watching, adjustment counter. In Snowflake now, that outside run game has worked so well. These last 2, they've been able to run the ball successfully up the middle now because they got those linebackers kind of, they can't figure out if we're coming inside, going outside.
Yep, definitely forces them to hold their ground a little bit. Can't commit quite so early.
From the 35 with the clock under 3 minutes to go in the third. Got the same formation as the high snap is going to be taken this time by Leduc. He crashes over a couple of tacklers to get the first down and then stays on his feet all the way to the 25. Gains 10, moves the chains. Snowflake leads 24-3 and are now approaching the red zone.
Yeah, you're starting to see this Lobo offensive line step up and take over here a little bit. And in the wake of each of those last 2 running plays, you're seeing Guardians on the ground.
That was going to be my question when they had that read. Is this a difference in blocking scheme, or are they just wearing them out up front?
I think you're seeing some guys wearing down a little bit in the middle there on the defensive line.
Here comes some pressure off the left side. Fake the handoff, flip this one to Raven. He's catching it, the 25 to the 20. He gets down to the 15 and very close to a first down.
And it looks like is Cotton not.
He went off a couple of plays ago, I noticed.
Lobo first down. Bring up 1st and 10.
And he's certainly impactful in that middle of that defense.
He walked off on his own power, but I couldn't tell what. I don't know if he's holding an arm or something.
Raven now with 2 catches. He's been targeted 3 times. Setting up in the H-back position off the left side there of the line and into the neutral zone come the Guardians, but they're going to be allowed. Now getting back there to allow the snap to get handed off to Green. Charges forward through a bunch of would-be tacklers over the 10 and all the way down to the 8. Looks like he's met at the line of scrimmage and then forces his way out for a 6-yard gain.
Again, you're just seeing that push by that Lobo offensive line. They're stalemating at the line of scrimmage, but then when Green gets there, then that pushes the pile forward.
And this has been that inside run and outside run game. These last 2 possessions have been really impressive.
2nd down and 4. Fake the handoff, swing this one out to the left side. Caught there by Willis. Steps away from one man to get over the 5 and then tackled at the 2, but a flag is down at the 7. Stops the clock with 1 minute and 15 seconds left. It would be 1st and goal, but hold on.
Willis on the reception.
Let's get a good look at the blocking out there.
Holding on the Lobos.
Suspect a holding call on the block there.
Holding's announced.
Yeah, it happened right in front of that side judge out there, so.
Would have been consecutive completions for Leduc for the first time since the first quarter.
It's too bad that didn't count. That was a great catch and adjustment there very quickly by Willis to to stop his feet, cut back inside there, but unfortunately it won't count.
Jones single man on the right. It's that Smith wide left. Everybody else is still in the huddle. Eventually break. We're going to have Willis and Rabin also go to the left side. Green, now a timeout will be taken by the Lobos, as that took a long time to get to the line of scrimmage. Let me ask you a question, Coach Solomon. This is seemingly right around the time of year, second or third week, when you wind up playing Cactus so often here the last few years when you get to 4A, which, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't seem like they were nearly as big as this team, but much, much faster at the skill positions. How did those games, whether you won them or lost them, get you ready for the remainder of your 4A regular season? And how can you recognize similar sorts of developments with this?
That's a good point that you bring up, and you know, next week would be a perfect time to have a game like that on your schedule. And maybe we do with Bradshaw Mountain. Bradshaw Mountain's always a tough matchup for the Lobos. But you know, those Cactus games the past 3 years, I was disappointed to see that not on the schedule this year. I really was. You know, I mean, obviously we managed to win last year, but we were 2 losses to them in the previous years. But those close losses did just as much for our team's confidence and our development of our players, and just helping them to realize that they could, especially when you see Cactus go on and be in the finals a lot of those years in the 5A level.
All right, start looking to the left, come back to the right side, caught by Jones, gets over the 10 to the 5. He's flirting with the end zone, but will settle for that same first and goal situation that it looked like the Lobos were going to have after the Willis reception.
Again, that little slip screen to Gian, and they're still not quite synced on it. Doesn't quite get blocked exactly the way it should look, but Gion's catching that and making something happen.
How difficult a pass and catch is that with all of the blockers and traffic that you got to catch that through and then start maneuvering?
Well,
through?
Ideally your blockers get out ahead of that. Gion's catching the ball behind them, but that just isn't what's happening yet.
Going to take the snap. Oh, looked like Green was ready for it. I think he was suspecting they were going to go run this play in the fourth quarter, which now they'll have to, but after a 3-yard loss.
Yeah, it looked like he wasn't the only one that thought that. So
Cotton and the center were the only two
that knew that ball got snapped.
3 are in the books, 24-3. The Lobos lead after the only points are scored after they went for it on fourth down and set up a short field for the Guardians, who got the field goal. Those are the points in the second half thus far, but the Lobos are threatening. Leading 21, it's Show Low Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk1067.com.
At Summit Healthcare, you'll find a level of care you might not expect from a rural hospital. We've recently received 5 stars from CMS, a prestigious ranking that less than 5% of facilities in Arizona earned. Our cancer center has proven its level of advanced care with a national accreditation from the Commission on Cancer. And we continue to add more doctors and services so that you don't have to leave the mountain to find the care you need. At Summit Healthcare, we're elevating.
Want the best deal on your new car, truck, van, or SUV? Go to Show Low Ford. Show Low Ford has the best deals. Not only does Show Low Ford sell the #1 truck in America, Guy Hatch guarantees you won't find a better deal on that truck anywhere else. Show Low Ford sells the best at the best price. Show Low Ford on the east end of the Deuce and at showlowford.com.
Starting the fourth quarter with the Lobos leading 24-3. A couple of scores here to give you, and I would like your impressions both, as Blue Ridge is trailing Valley Christian 30-24. Is that? Well, no, you're already running the play. I beg your pardon. I thought we had more time, but we did. And there's a touchdown with Green.
Touchdown, yep.
Yeah, they just ran that little stretch handoff to the right side, that little off-tackle run that they've been so successful with, and he got down about the 2 before he got touched and just powered his way in from there.
Third question mark? No, second touchdown for Green. Gets him over the century mark after he had 164 last week. He's at 103 today. And that makes it 30-3 pending. Snap is down. Pressure is in from both sides this time, but Norton's able to get it up and good. No, he did not. That one went wide left.
Next one is good.
How concerning is it that these extra points and field goal attempts have this much pressure coming off the edges?
You know, that's difficult to stop from out there, and as long as he's getting it away, you're okay with it. But, yeah, it's a little scary if it were to come right down to it, and they had to rely on a successful PAT or a field goal. Then you'd be a little afraid of that.
So Valley Christian, 6-0 victors at Sholo last week, 30-24 leading Blue Ridge right now. Is there anything to take away, do you think, or is that just kind of a gee whiz stat?
You know, you can't always judge by common opponents, and Blue Ridge had to travel down there, of course, and play on, I don't know how warm it is in the valley tonight. It's always a factor. Valley Christian's on their home field, but you know, you look at right now and think that Sholo's probably a little bit better team than the Jackets.
Payson's leading Santan Foothills on the road 43-0. Is this one Candy Hop taken around the 5 to the 10 to the 20 to the 25 and eventually spun down as Kellett.
I think Payson's definitely a 3A team to be reckoned with this year too.
And see, it looks like ALA's got some, different kids back running kicks back and some things like that now. So you wonder, if they're kind of waving the white flag, or maybe that's, they've kind of hit the wall a little bit, because I think a lot of those kids are playing both ways and on the special teams as well.
One more interesting score for you. Arcadia now leading Camelback 16-15, but who did Arcadia beat the brakes off of last week?
Bradshaw.
Was it Bradshaw? Would have thought that they would have a little bit of an easier time with Camelback. Is now coming to the near side with a pass, caught, but defenders waiting, and falling down is Bove.
Good job by Irvin King coming up from his outside linebacker position, fighting off that block and not giving that running or the receiver time to make anything happen there.
Well, and the team speed, for the Snowflake defense, again, stands out.
It's the fourth forward pass that has gone for negative yardage.
Looks like, too, that Snowflake's got some of the younger kids in defensively for this possession as well.
Leading 30-3 with 11 minutes to go. Still got Rosenthal out there operating as the running back, as well as Serrano who's quarterbacking. Rosenthal breaks out to the left. That's the direction that Serrano's initially looking. Now he's pressured, runs to the right, wants to tuck it, gets to the 20, and runs out of bounds at the 21.
And again, that's just a young quarterback there. He's outside the pocket. You can throw that away. When you run out of bounds 9 yards behind the line of scrimmage, it's maybe not the best decision.
You can't compare him to Leduc, I guess. Well, you can in a lot of ways. They're playing the same position, but I don't think Leduc's running that one out of bounds. He's going to turn upfield and try to make something happen.
He's got a bit more of the BMI on Serrano.
Maybe a pound or two.
Here's a 3-receiver set for him. Under center, fake the handoff, looking to the near side. Now he's got to unload, throw this into double coverage, where it was broken up and nearly intercepted. Jones was there looking for interception number 3, and he's cramping up.
Jones made a good play. A good job by Brock Brimhall, who's one of those younger guys that you mentioned coming in and getting some playing time. And he was right there, stride for stride with the receiver.
All right, Rosenthal back out to kick. Jones getting stretched out on the sideline. The Summit Healthcare Regional Medical Center injury report is just a cramping situation there for Gian Jones. Is back to receive Willis and Smith. This one angling to the near side, and Willis catches it at the 40, comes along the sideline, now zigs out to the 50, and then back toward the sideline where he gets into ALA West territory. It looked like he kind of alligator armed a fair catch. I was surprised they allowed him to return that. Taking a look at the replay here. I don't know.
I wasn't watching. I was watching Jack Butler, number 64 on that defensive line, got in and made some contact with the punter. And the punter sure wanted a roughing call, but didn't get it.
ALA West's sideline likewise. All right, pressure coming from the right side. They're going to run Green right by it as he gets over the 45 down to the 40. And it is close. No, he has 11 yards on a first down. Now 1114. Take three. 114. 11 yards for 114 on the day. 1114-yard day.
You see Brenner come off the sideline. That might be the last we see of him tonight. It's like number 44 coming into the backfield to take his place.
Talmadge Lucas. He's going to get the call.
Good.
Puts his head down, runs into a couple of tacklers.
Glad to see Talmadge get the opportunity. Talmadge has been a hard worker in this program for quite a few years now.
That was just a nice, tough physical run, you know, where he just lowered his shoulder and finished that thing off.
Speaking of that, there's 9.5 minutes to go here. 30-3 the Lobos lead, and we're going to be at Bradshaw Mountain for the Snowflakes game next week. It's here from the pistol. That is not Green. It's Alcantar who's going to go to the 35, gain another couple of yards to make it third down in about 7.
I guess we get to see Hayden Nichols carry one now.
I think you're probably right. They need to send somebody out, though. There comes Xander. Yep, little carousel going in the backfield here for Lobo running backs.
Well, you teased this one on the interception, the interception. When he was able to carry that one for a while, goes to the left side, dives over the 30, a nice tackle to prevent him from getting into the open field. Sends it down to the 29, gains 5.
Yeah, and again, they've had quite a bit of success getting out on that edge, and I guess now they 4th down, we got to bring Green back in, and we'll see how this where this goes.
Hopefully seal the deal here.
Yeah. 8.5 to go. Needing to get to the 27. Turn and give Green, but he's met in the backfield and stood up by a couple of extra Guardians. Another unsuccessful 4th down attempt for the Lobos as they're getting their first for ALA West was Kingston Kahn.
Well, really good job on that edge, getting the penetration. They've kind of been susceptible all night on that, and so probably a good way for them to get a good defensive stop late in the game on that.
Liam Brewer's hustling out. Taking a look to see if there's any less familiar numbers. You got Raven now back playing center field, I believe.
Actually, I think that's number 9.
Oh, is that
Maverick Greer?
Okay.
Another freshman getting some time on the varsity field.
Got these freshmen with an opportunity to play what's going to wind up being one of the best running backs in the conference. The Lobos, don't be fooled, folks. They've put the hooks on Rosenthal here, but the volume that he's going to get, the production that he had a year ago, the day that he had last week, he's going to get an awful lot of yards. I think this is going to be the sort of performance that Snowflake's defense is eventually going to hang its hat on, or at least let everybody know that they lost a lot of players. There he goes over the left side. He's still on his feet at the 50 and out into Snowflake territory at the 45, but that's kind of the point I'm trying to make as he gains 18 yards. Now make it 23 yards into Lobo territory. Prior to that, they'd held him to 16 yards on 12 carries.
Yeah, the Guardians, I think they realized there Snowflake's completely subbed out their whole starting defense, so they have an opportunity here to maybe move the ball down the field.
Now, was there a JV game yesterday?
There was down there. It was 38-8, I think, was the final score. ALA won.
Serrano coming to the near side as he's pushed out of bounds. That could be a little late hit, but doesn't look like they're going to go with it. As that was a run of 6 for Serrano.
Yeah, and that's the first time I think we've seen Serrano tuck it and try to get upfield with it that time. And so I wonder if he got a little talking to for running out of bounds on that last play down
there
here.
were a couple. I thought he could have gotten another few yards at least. Chose not to.
Looked like coming slow to the ball was the Guardian center. Let's see how this snap goes as he's able to get it away. Straight drop. Now looking to the left. Serrano wants to run in that direction. He's being pursued. Tucks that one over the 40 to the 35 where he's pushed out of bounds at the 30. Picks up a first down. Stops the clock with 7:15 to go.
Well, not only a lot of subs on the defensive side of the ball, but you see some jerseys getting stretched out of shape a little bit. Those officials are probably not going to throw the flags at this point of the game.
No, I think everybody's got the finish line in view here.
Now we've had off-air conversations an awful lot about the difficulties getting teams from the flatlands to come up here with their JV units. How valuable are these? Is this quarter for the second unit, bearing in mind that they might not have a lot of JV opportunities later on in the season?
Yeah, that was the first. It's a good opportunity for them to get some feel for the game at this speed.
Oh, Rosenthal just ran off of one tackler. Now he's going to bounce it to the pylon and get in from 33 yards out of Comfort Fit Dentures touchdown.
Carry for the touchdown.
Yep, they're good reps. They're valuable reps. Guys get out there and learn that the game at this level happens a little bit different speed.
And size in Rosenthal's case.
Yeah, and size. Yeah, they had him stopped there. He weren't able to get him on the ground though.
Well, he has runs of 23 and 33 yards now to get his total up to 72. Catalina Foothills, welcome to the party. 45-6.
Up and good for Hunter Cotton.
You talked about how the Lobos' strength of schedule a week ago just got a little shot in the arm with one win from Catalina Foothills. How about two? Extra point is good. 7:02 left. 30-10. The Lobos lead. It's Show Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk1067.com.
You've been there, waiting forever at the gas station for the guy to free up so he can fill up your propane tank. Or worse, when the only qualified propane technician decided to stay home that day. Yep, you've been there and I have too. That's why now I get my propane from Ace Hardware every time. You get Ace Hardware's world-famous customer service when you stop in for propane. That's right, you get in, you get out, and you get a great deal on propane and everything else. From Ace Hardware at their locations in Pine Top and Heber. Ace Hardware is proud to support White Mountain Sports.
7:02 to go, 30-10. The Lobos had 11 different defenders than we had been accustomed to seeing. And then they're working in 3 different running backs, assuming that they're able to recover what I'm guessing at this point is going to be an onside kick. Or is it? Cotton's going to kick it away. He's got Willis and Smith. Jones is not back this time, as it's going to be a big kick going back toward the end zone. This time Smith allows it to clear. So after watching the Guardians make relatively quick work to get the first touchdown, do you have to bring some more first unit offensive players out there? It doesn't look like that's the case.
I see Brenner out there. I think I see Maverick Greer going at quarterback.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing some different numbers on the offensive line, a few. I see Lane LeChaminat still in there starting left tackle. Looks like Weston Flake starting right tackle still there.
Also got Tyler Jones split wide left here with Bryant as the handoff will go green, but he's going to have to immediately break to the near sideline and is not able to get to the line of scrimmage. Going to say that he was tackled in bounds. No. Well, yes, there it goes. Clock is going to run.
Well, that's an experienced official making sure the clock doesn't stop here.
Loses a yard. There is 3 possessions separating these two teams. So 6.5 minutes to go. It seems as if it's going to be an awfully tall order. As Greer operating as the quarterback, Green behind him. Trips going to the right side, single man on the left. Is that Jones? There's all sorts of movement.
Like the right guard and right tackle both got a little early start there.
Right now the ref's trying to determine if that's procedure or offsides. And they're going to go with it against the offensive players. But you're looking for a bright side to that. Snowflake can run some more clock.
Yeah, I'm glad they talked about that. I think there is a good chance that the Guardians were offsides first, but which is what counts in high school football. If once you break that plane, you're the one committing the infraction. But you don't see many flags going the Lobos' way at this point of the game with that score.
Under 6 minutes to go. Been able to take an extra 23 seconds off the clock. Now there's more movement. Did they just get him right back? And perhaps, again, more importantly, the Lobos can start running clock again without having run a play.
Keep that clock a-moving, baby.
So they get the 5 yards back. 2nd and 11 after Green had lost a yard on the first down play. This second half has been a defensive struggle. And do you chalk that up to both defenses taking over, or has Snowflake gone especially conservative with a big game next week with Bradshaw Mountain?
Well, I think it's probably a little bit of both. Snowflake did have that long drive that kind of got slowed by that holding penalty. They were running the ball pretty effectively there.
Handoff, Green stays on his feet along the line of scrimmage. Now gets to the near side over the 25 to the 30, and is very close to a first down again, looking as if he was going to be stopped for no gain, but he will not be denied. There he is. They're running straight through. Somebody was holding on to one of his legs with both hands.
Yeah, great run there. You know, we just saw Rosenthal do that going the other way, break his tackle and stay up and take it to the end zone, and Brenner almost managed to do the same thing there.
Getting the showcase with these running backs. Green now is 122 yards on 23 carries. Last week, 21 carries, 164 yards. Is he still in the backfield?
Nope, Lucas came back in the backfield, and he's carrying that one.
5 minutes to go. He picks up a yard falling forward.
Like to see him stick with that. You don't want to have Green out on the field at this point of the game when it's out of reach and run the risk of an injury.
Alcantar is back out there, 2nd down. This was the formula that was used after Green picked up a first down on the previous series. They went with Lucas, Alcantar, and then Nichols. 2nd down and 9 as Alcantar is going to go in the pistol behind Greer. Allowing as much clock as he can to come off, and now his right side again jumps. You can appreciate what Greer's doing, watching the back judge, waiting for him to start the countdown before he tries to start the play. But as you mentioned, Coach, he's got 5 offensive linemen that are getting the valuable experience that he is also sharing.
Yeah. They're trying to keep drawing those guys off sides. They're still aggressive up front and jumping off sides, but
after these procedure penalties and offsides, the Lobos have taken about 100 seconds off of the clock just by resetting the footballs. Here's Alcantar going over to the right side, gains maybe 4 out to the 29. But by the time they get this set and somebody jumps off sides or has a false start, there's going to be less than 2 minutes to play.
New way to kill clock in the game here.
Greer off the sideline with the play. 3rd down and 11. I didn't see if Nichols came out.
No, he's got his helmet in his hand over here.
I would hope he comes out of the rotation too. He's another guy you don't need on the field at this point of the game.
Going to let Greer run to the right side and throw this one underneath where he's got a man caught over the 40 at the 41, moves the chains, is there with the reception for the Lobos. I don't think I have a number 20. Who's number 20?
Yeah, I don't see him on the roster either.
Oh, that's too bad. Would love to give him a shout out there, but a great throw on the run there from Greer.
For a first down, 1st and 10 Lobos.
Gains 13 yards, moves the chains, and that seems as if that's probably going to do it. Clock approaching 3 minutes to go. Guardians can stop play 3 times, but now you got to try to figure out how to get in the end zone 3 times. From the 41, now Lucas in the backfield. Maverick Greer, a freshman, 5'10", 155. As they go Nichols, trying to force his way over the 40, and does so with some help from his offensive lineman.
Actually, Lucas again, I believe. Talmadge Lucas on the carry.
Talmadge Lucas on the ball carry there.
Lucas, 5'7" senior.
Offensive line, he picked up the yard.
You need Talmadge and Alcantar to ice this one away for you. Hopefully pick up another first down and get to the point where you can kneel this one out.
Let's go back to that throw on the run from Greer.
Greer's an impressive young quarterback coming up. You know, he's actually playing he's the starting JV quarterback as a freshman, and you see him getting the reps here tonight as well.
Lucas one step away. Can't break there. Is a nice stop at the defensive line there from Snedeker.
Well, and these are, like so we talked about the second team or these younger boys getting some reps, but LA still got their starting D line still in, Cotton still in, so these aren't second team versus second team reps. They're going against LA's first team defense, so it gives them a really good idea of what it's going to be like.
From the pistol, Lucas back as they fake the handoff. Greer's going to keep that one, run to the 35, or 45, beg your pardon, then puts his head down to try to get a little bit more out to the 47. Makes it 4th down and something like 4. Clock's going to run under a minute to go. I imagine you go ahead and run a play here?
Yeah, or let it run down and either take a timeout or you take the penalty and then punt it away.
The Guardian. Oh, we got a player down on the other sideline with ALA West. Can't see a number there, but we can go ahead and give a shout out to Summit Healthcare Regional Medical Center with the injury report. Summit Regional Medical Center has everything your athlete needs to get back in the game. This does not look like a cramp. He's holding his face mask with while lying on his back. His right leg is angled upward at the knee, and it looks like they're investigating something above the knee. Still up. I can tell you now that is Morales. Oh, and he's not putting any weight. It's actually the left leg that looks like is the one that's bothering him. That does not look good. And that goes to the point where talk about a lot of the Snowflake defenders who are getting a couple of reps on the offensive side. All of the Lobos defenders that were off the field in the previous sequence. The Lobo backfield right now spectating, and you can get an appreciation for why. With 54 seconds to go, trying to move the chains one final time. Going to throw this one down the far sideline, and it's not caught. Turn it over on downs as the pass was intended.
Liam Brewer.
It's a pretty good ball, though. It's general confidence, stepped into it. Pretty good throw.
Yeah, and it had Cotton almost coming through the line to get him, about to break through. But yeah, Greer's gonna be a good quarterback. I wish he was 1 year further behind Jacob.
Seriously, he's got 1 more year to wait, right?
He does, but showing a lot of promising things as a freshman in his first varsity minutes here.
Well, and the licking that Leduc takes, if he can get a little bit more confidence, maybe you can start giving him an extra series or something just to save some of the beating that Leduc takes. He, of course, inflicts a lot of that damage himself, but
yeah, he gives as well as gets. Jacob does, but you definitely, I'm glad to see most, if not all, of these starters off the field at this point of the night, and give these young guys the experience, which is valuable, and save your guys.
Rosenthal still out there, 72 yards. As he's going to get the call, runs right up the gut, gets over the 40 to the 35, gains 13. Stops the clock with 42 seconds.
Get the chains moved here, and then they'll wind this in a hurry. Yep.
85 yards now for Rosenthal as he gets another one. Goes to the 20, still on his feet. I beg your pardon, that was in the 20. Now he's going to get in the end zone. Comfort Fit Dentures touchdown.
Well, there's a flag at the 10.
Let's see if it stands. I'll get him over the century mark, but almost all of it. A crackback block is whistled against ALA West. So started that one at the 35, runs it to the 10. Does he get credit for 25 yards?
Probably should get credit for 25, but it's going to come back 10 from there or 15 from the spot. So.
Well, he now has 110 yards on the day, but against Snowflake's first unit, he had 16 on 12 carries.
15-yarder first.
Yeah, they're definitely helping his stats look a little bit better on the night here late in the game.
So clock moving at 20 seconds, trailing 30 to 10. Fake the handoff to him. Serrano throws underneath as it is caught at the 14-yard line. Clock moving as they got the ball already spotted. 7 seconds. Guardians recognize 4 seconds, 3 seconds, trying to get a snap off. Will do so with 2 seconds. Throw this one underneath, but it's dropped, and that's how it's going to end. 30 to 10, Snowflake wins. The score wasn't that close as they got a touchdown against the JV unit there on their penultimate possession. Nearly had another one, but the Lobos dominant here in their first home game. Start talking about it after this Show Ford's presentation of high school football. iTalk 1067 and iTalk1067.com.
You have a vision, a brand to build, a message to share. You need signs that turn heads, apparel that makes a statement, banners that grab attention, and business cards to leave a lasting impression. Your success starts with the right tools. That's where we come in. Allegra Sholo brings your ideas to life with custom designs and top quality products, helping you stand out and grow your brand. Let's make something amazing together. Call Allegra Sholo today.
For years, he's battled the toughest opponent of his life.
He's down!
But today, with Dr. Arnaud and Comfort Fit Dentures, the fight changes. With Comfort Fit Dentures and Sholo, you can taste the victory. With free exams and x-rays, an in-house lab, and payment plans starting at just $110 a month, Comfort Fit makes it easy to claim victory. Call today for your free exam and x-ray.
Want the best deal on your new car, truck, van, or SUV? Go to Sholo Ford. Sholo Ford has the best deals. Not only does Sholo Ford sell the #1 truck in America, Guy Hatch guarantees you won't find a better deal on that truck anywhere else. Sholo Ford sells the best at the best price. Sholo Ford on the east end of the Deuce and at sholoford.com.
When you think glass, think Deemer's Glass in Lakeside. Deemer's Glass offers the best selection of quality glass with affordable prices. They do full home window packages, replacement windows, custom shower doors and enclosures, custom mirrors in many shapes, styles, and colors, glass doors and hardware, commercial glass for buildings and offices, skylights, screens, fire-rated glass for your fireplace or stove, window film, and more. Visit Deemer's Glass today on Porter Mountain Road in Lakeside or call 1-888-GLASSMAN.
Lobos win 30-10, now 2-0. Get ready to go back on the road to a tough Bradshaw Mountain opponent. But first, got to celebrate here from the Lobo perspective. Something that was a big question mark, not just because they were rebuilding both the offensive and defensive lines, but Coach Solomon, is it fair to say that one of the things that kind of tripped up the Lobos last year was size up front? And then how did they demonstrate their ability to overcome that in this ball game?
He had some struggles. The Marcos Deniza was a team, especially that had a pretty good size up front, pretty big line, and we struggled down there with them a little bit, and so replacing that whole line with a new line this year, and guys that are a little bit smaller in most cases than most of our line was last year. That was a question mark last week, and a big one this week, as you could see that the Guardians definitely outsized the Lobos on both sides of the ball up front.
Well, people who've been watching football up here for a while remember Blue Ridge almost always was dramatically outsized on its offensive line, but yet was pushing people around all the time. So what is the key when you're a little bit smaller to making sure that you're winning that point of attack?
Well, your technique, your coaching, your blocking schemes, which we saw, and we were able to get some good looks at some of the things the Lobos were doing with some of their trap plays, and I'm going to have to go back and watch that stretch play. They blocked that so well on the edge for Brenner that it's just a bread and butter play for Snowflake whenever they really need something. So, I think we saw a huge step forward for both sides of the Lobo line down in the trenches tonight. The defense too showed up big. As we mentioned, basically shutting down the Guardians' running game right from the get-go tonight, and they didn't really get anything going until the JV kids were in late in the game.
I'm going to start this backwards because we just saw Mason Rabin get the wood. We're going to do the Mobile Auto Glass and Tint Player of the Game. Get your windshield replaced by the experts. I think that's the indication that his teammates and coaches have identified him as the Player of the Game. Do you think they made the right call?
So Wood could be Player of the Game, but a lot of times it actually, when you bring the wood or lay the wood, it's a big hit. So it's kind of a hit of the game, and I'm guessing that was probably when he slipped that block out on the edge and a little slip screen they tried to run, or tunnel screen outside, and really lit up that receiver. So that's probably why he got the wood tonight.
So let's then immediately shift gears and transition to Deemer's glass shattering hit of the game. If you need glass for your home or business, Deemer's Glass in Lakeside is hands down the best place to call when you need quality glass at affordable prices. Deemer's Glass, call 1-888-GlassMan. We were just talking about how the Lobos were giving up size, but now we're giving the glass shattering hit of the game to a block, to an undersized offensive team. That seems counterintuitive, but here we are. We had the huge hit delivered in the first quarter. I can't remember who was that. Nichols?
No, it was Rabin on that screen.
Oh, okay.
And I think that may be what
there
Coach was alluding to, but it was on that little slip screen, or maybe it was just a little outlet, but he came from that safety spot.
And the reason I get confused is because we saw him very active out of, I don't know what Snowflake calls it, but frequently referred to as the H-back position. And not just using him as a blocker, as was primarily happening against Coconino, where he was running, or usually setting up Leduc with Green, helping him out, but really getting him the ball this time. How much more does that open up the Snowflake approach offensively if they're able to drop it off to him when they got these speedsters out on the edge?
Well, like I mentioned that early on, I was happy to see them, testing that passing game a little bit. I mean, you look at the receiving core that the Lobos have: Christian Smith, Willis, and Rabin, and who's the other one that Jones out there, and then right hot behind on their heels, you've got Edge Bryant coming in there. You got Liam Brewer. You've got a lot of guys that you can throw the ball to. So they're going to need to develop that to take some of the pressure off that running game. Obviously, guys, we've already seen two teams key in on Leduc and Coconino pretty successfully shutting him down in some ways. But Green, they haven't been able to solve yet, but teams are going to start game planning for him a lot more too after these first two games.
So by we I mean I eventually caught up with the conversation about the Deemer's Glass shattering hit of the game. If you need glass for your home or business, Deemer's Glass in Lakeside is hands down the best place to call when you need quality glass at affordable prices. Deemer's Glass, call 1-888-GlassMan. The Horn Auto Center drive of the game. Horn Auto Center, the Chevy, Cadillac, and GMC store that saves you more. Snowflake, I think you can make a case that the drive of the game was the first defensive possession when you got this running game that came in with all the yards, especially from Rosenthal, but they force him back on a false start, then get a short field. kind of combining the two for the drives of the game, because there were some question marks, especially about ALA West's size. Lobos showed immediately that they were able not just to counter that, but also do so in a way that's going to put them in a good position, because they had the short field most of the day because of the defense, whether it be putting them in bad positions with tackles for loss or getting the interceptions.
Yeah, and it wasn't just the defense performed well, but it was dominant. In that first quarter and a half, it was 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. If they ran 15 plays, 10 of them were probably negative plays, and that kept that field position in Snowflake's favor all night. Maybe with the exception of that fourth down that we didn't convert on, that gave them the short field for that field goal. And so I think, because we were expecting coming in, ALA just would come off a state championship game last year in the 3A. They were kind of known as big, physical, power running team, kind of Thatcher-esque, from that 2A, 3A era. And so we were a little worried how the smaller defensive line and linebackers were going to hold up. But that first possession, I think, set the tone for the whole night.
That the Horn Auto Center drive of the game, the Chevy, Cadillac, and GMC store that saves you more. Horn Auto Center. Now we circle back to where we started. The Mountain Mobile Auto Glass and Tint player of the game. Mountain Mobile Auto Glass and Tint. Get your windshield replaced by the experts. So, got a shout out for Rabin, but take a look. Who first off, along the Snowflake front, was able to do the most to disrupt this much bigger offensive line from ALA West Foothills?
Well, the whole defensive line, I'll credit to all four of those guys up there. Like I said, I think that they've worked very hard this week on holding their ground a little bit better, not picking a side, which allows, gaps to open up and makes it difficult for your linebackers sometimes to cover what they need to cover. And so I think it started with those four up front doing a lot better job of that, and then Hayden Nichols and Connor Reed at those linebackers, inside linebacker spots, they did a better job probably of starting another step back, pausing just a little bit, reading a little bit more. And one of the things they did a really good job was ALA Gilbert. I'm going back to my days at Nemesis. ALA, the Guardians, they pulled a lot of linemen, and when those linebackers stop looking in the backfield and start reading line play first, then 99% of the time they're going to be right where they need to be to make a tackle.
And I wanted to emphasize that just because, as Coach Brogan had pointed out, the defense was so dominant in the first half, but particularly the first quarter. No first downs in the first quarter. And it was difficult to isolate any one person just because there are so many people who were involved. And even when you take a look at all the interceptions, I believe it was 3 different players who came away with an interception in that first half. So the Snowflake defense was just on the spot.
And those defensive linemen did such a good job. And early that cleared up Merrill, especially being able to come from the edge and was in the backfield. It felt like for the whole first quarter on that, but a lot of that's because the defensive linemen are eating up those interior line. They can't get out. They don't have anybody left to block those linebackers that are running so well. And I probably ought to apologize for saying Thatcher-esque. I know Thatcher's like a 4-letter word out here to the Snowflake people, but I'm a Southern Arizona kid, so I apologize. There was nothing
Coach Jones and I get along really well.
Just totally distracted me.
Hey,
that is the Snowflake defense is going to be the players of the game. Mountain Mobile Auto Glass and Tint. Get your windshield replaced by the experts. The Lobos now 2-0. Going to go back on the road. Tough trip over to Bradshaw Mountain. That's just to get there. But Bradshaw, historically a pretty big unit, especially up front. The Lobos got a little taste of that. Is it difficult to then bounce back after you play a big team to then go bang against another one?
I think it'll be another good test for that defense. And the same things that we've been talking about. Bradshaw relies on running the ball to get done what they need to. Coach Young, he's an old school coach running the ball, and So I would expect the Lobo defense to be tested, especially in the middle, once again next week as they travel over to Prescott Valley and take on Bradshaw Mountain.
Bradshaw Mountain beat Independence 54-8. Is Independence Phoenix Union?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, here's your salt shaker.
Right.
I shouldn't have said that. But we get late and everybody gets chippy. All right.
Well, them and West, never mind.
30-10. We're going to end this before somebody does something bad. 30-10. Snowflake wins over ALA West Foothills. Now 2-0. The Guardians 1-1. As we thank everybody who helped us put this together, especially all of our sponsors, who are Sholo Ford on the east end of the Deuce, Ace Hardware and Pine Top Overgarden Sholo, Honda Ski and Outdoor Sports Store, Northland Pioneer College, Horn Auto Center, Summit Regional Medical Center, Comfort Fit Dentures, and Horn Auto Center.
It's Bush Ridge.
Mountain Mobile Auto Glass and Tin as well. Thanks to all of our sponsors who help us put this out there, as we thank you for spending your Friday night and starting your weekend with us. For Coach Brogan and Coach Solomon, Guy Chili, Mel putting it together with Cooper's help, who's going to be taking the reins at Bradshaw Mountain. Jeff, Robin, and Cooper also shooting some excellent shots for you. We thank all of you, and thank you for joining us again as we'll be with you from Bradshaw Mountain. Until then, be safe.
This has been Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 KNKI Pine Top and iTalk1067.com. Brought to you in part by Northland Pioneer College, Ace Hardware of the White Mountains, Beamer's Glass, Mountain Mobile Auto Glass and Tint, Summit Regional Medical Center, Horn Auto Center, Honda Ski and Outdoor Sport, and Comfort Fit Dentures. This broadcast has been a copyrighted production of iTalk 106.7 and Country Mountain Airwaves, a Kopaniki communications station. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or use of this broadcast without the expressed written consent of iTalk 106.7 or Country Mountain Airwaves is strictly prohibited. For more information on this game and other games around the region, go to iTalk1067.com.